Breaking the silence, America's most talked about man speaks for the first time after he's accidentally shot by the Vice President of the United States.
Saving lives. Don't miss why a Texas sheriff's deputy tackles this woman to the ground.
And Hanging 10, you just finished watching Montel right here on KXAN. See what the talk show host is doing in his time of this week in Italy. Keep it right here on KXAN for today's Olympic coverage and much more. Well, the big story today is, of course, the weather. Temperatures sitting in the 40s right now.
And there's a potential winter storm brewing for Central Texas. The Texas Department of Transportation is busy getting its trucks filled with sand just in case local roads ice over. Some forecast models are calling for freezing precipitation this weekend. Yeah, everyone's bundled up around town, and you'll want to keep the coats out because the temperatures could be falling even more. Is that possible? KXAN's Jim Spencer joins us with the details of our top story. Hi, Jim.
Hi there. Oh, yeah, it's possible, all right. In fact, take a look.
Farm Road 1325 exit ramp. KXAN's Haley Stavano is live in Williamson County with more on why so many people are talking about these changes. Haley.
Well, even though it's been in the works, people are just now starting to hear about it. TxDOT says they did announce these changes a couple of years ago. Right now, as you can see, the traffic is able to flow and cars are able to turn into this shopping center where there's an academy and several other stores that are about to open up. But soon that could all change. These ramp closures are all part of the 45 interchange. And as you can see from KXAN's Chopper 36.
Tonight, Lori and Jack Hanna's Animals.
Above him.
Your day is filled with an overload of information. So how can you find what's important to you? KXAN NBC Austin is the answer. We bring you clear and precise information you can use every day. Count on me and your news team at KXAN NBC Austin.
An 18-year-old high school girl was found shot to death in these woods. I'm Jenny Hoff. I'll tell you if police have any suspects.
He's a murderer put away for life. I'll find out why Michael Moore is at the center of a complaint about the Williamson County Jail.
And the question on everyone's mind, just how cold will it get? Jim Spencer has your answer.
From KXAN NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
Good evening, everyone. The de-icing trucks are stocked with sand.
The gloves and hats are going on, so just what weather is in store for this weekend? KXAN's Jim Spencer. A couple of jail inmates slipped out of their cells and into the cells of 3 female inmates. KXAN's Haley Stavano is live from the Williamson County Sheriff's Office in Georgetown to explain what went wrong inside the jail. Haley.
Well, Robert, this lawsuit involves 2 jail inmates here at the Williamson County Jail that have been in the news recently. Michael Moore, who was just sentenced to life in prison for murder, aggravated robbery, and aggravated kidnapping, and Christian Figueroa, who is in jail for aggravated robbery as well. Now, basically, these 2 inmates were stuffing paper into the locks of their cell doors, preventing them from locking. The 2 would then sneak out of their cells.
From KXAN NBC Austin. Your news starts now.
Strongest cold front of the winter season thus far headed our way. I'll tell you when it will get here. Coming up.
A Hill Country shooting, a suspect behind bars after a night on the run. We're live in San Saba County with this developing story.
And more patrols, why you could soon see more
After being shot 3 times in the back. I'm Jenny Hoff. We'll speak with his family and hear who police are looking for.
Slick Texas roads caused this, the shocking accident caught on tape.
I'm gonna kill him.
An Austin woman convicted of brutally murdering her ex-lover. Then an officer is dragged down a Texas road when a suspect makes a run for it. That's coming up at 10:30 after the Olympics.
Tonight. This broadcast is presented by the authority of the...
A man is in intensive care after being shot in the back 3 times. I'm Jenny Hoff. I'll tell you what his family wants to see happen.
Caught on tape in Texas. An officer dragged behind a vehicle and a little ice on the road causes big problems.
A little more fog and drizzle today, but our next storm system should bring us some real rain. I'll have your forecast.
This is my dog, and she has princess legs like me.
How do you tell your 7-year-old the time has come to lose her legs?
Let's go.
Walking tall, step by step, out on the porch.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. Your news starts now.
Good evening, everyone. Right now, Austin police are looking for a man suspected of shooting someone 3 times in the back.
The victim is alive, but his family says they want justice and the man who did it behind bars. KXAN's Jenny Hoff spoke with them today and is live at Brackenridge Hospital with our top story. Jenny.
Robert, Terrence Berry is here at Brackenridge Hospital tonight in intensive care, and he has a long road of recovery ahead of him. However, despite being shot, he is conscious, and he's already told his family and police he knows the man who tried to kill him last night.
Accusations of abuse today. You won't believe what a teenager says happened in this portable building in South Austin.
Emergency meeting. Parents at a local elementary school wondering why their principal is fired in the middle of the school year.
$365 million winners, after days of secrecy, learned the identity of these brand new millionaires. Thanks for joining us for this special edition of KXAN News at 3. NBC's Olympic coverage resumes at 4 o'clock today. Topping our news, an Austin pastor is accused of sexually touching a 13-year-old boy on church property.
KXAN's Sally Hernandez just spoke with detectives about this case and is live at APD headquarters with our top story. Sally?
Yeah, that's right, Michelle. Rodolfo Sosa, he is the pastor of a predominantly Spanish-speaking congregation, a church that is called City of Refuge in English. He is facing some really serious accusations today. A 13-year-old boy says that pastor repeatedly kissed him and tried to touch his genitals over the past year. And allegedly, this boy says that pastor forcibly got his way last month. The congregation meets inside this portable that you see
Thursday.
A Travis County grand jury is considering the sentence for a woman convicted of killing her former lover. The jury yesterday found Diana Glover guilty for shooting and killing Jimmy Jose. KXAN Santa Henderson is following this trial live from the Criminal Justice Complex. Santa, what kind of punishment does Glover face now?
Well, Michelle, Rhonda Glover faces anything from 5 to 99 years or life in prison, and she only sat quietly today as prosecutors brought forth witness after witness describing her as a lying, manipulating woman who would do anything to get her way. Now, these witnesses are coming from the Criminal Justice Complex. I'm Santa Henderson, KXAN, NBC Austin.
A suspect's on the run and an Austin man hospitalized after he shot in the back. 24-year-old Terrence Berry was shot on
Technology reports.
Several worried parents are raising questions today after the principal of their children's elementary school is fired right in the middle of the school year. KXAN's Haley Stavanoa joins us live from Steiner Ranch Elementary School in West Travis County with more.
That's right, Robert. I've talked to several parents now, and they are very concerned after receiving an email giving them notice that their principal, Bob Medlin, was terminated today. And it also told them about an emergency PTA meeting, which is going on right now as we speak here at Steiner Ranch Elementary. Now, one parent that we did talk
to dangerously.
These late night Olympics making us sleep in a little longer, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, but the time we left at midnight last night, you're right. It was already quite foggy, and here are some scenes from around the city this morning. Visibilities for a while, a quarter mile or less, made for some pretty scenes, but it certainly did slow down the morning commute, no doubt about that. Things have improved this afternoon. Here's live weather from our tower camera, and as you can see, you can finally see something. And that's been about 2 or 3 days since we've been able to see anything from the 700-foot level, which is where our broadcast tower, or the camera is on our broadcast tower there over Westlake. So that's a good sign. Hill Country, you've had improved visibilities much.
Hi again, everyone. Go Mobile. It's a new service from AT&T and Yahoo. The first of its kind integrated service will allow singular phone users real-time access to customize Yahoo online content. Now, it's part of a larger plan to integrate phone and internet services for wireless users.
Google search engine users may soon find it more difficult to search for pornographic images. A U.S. District Court judge plans to issue a preliminary injunction to stop Google from displaying small copyrighted images from the adult website called Perfect 10. The problem is that Google receives advertising revenue whenever images are displayed, and searches on cell phones produce images that can be saved and accessed later for free when Perfect 10 charges to access that material. Google will likely appeal the injunction.
And Texas-based American Airlines is taking yet cruises, beating his bid with the highest at $265. I don't know.
Get those numbers up a little bit. Solve charity.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here tonight at 6.
So I guess if you want to scratch.
An arrest warrant is issued for an Austin church pastor. Hear what a 13-year-old boy says the pastor did to him.
I'm Rich Parsons near Walnut Creek in North Austin. Another fatal shooting by Austin police. This time the victim is man's best friend, but the owners say it didn't have to die. We'll have the story.
And think you'd like to skate with the pros? It takes a lot more than trial and error. We'll show you how to avoid painful mistakes in that first time on the ice.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
Good evening, everyone. A Southwest Austin pastor is charged with indecency with a child accused of fondling a young boy in his church.
KXAN Sally Hernandez is live at APD headquarters with tonight's top story.
Hey, Robert, on Friday, detectives here at APD arrested Pastor Rodolfo Sosa of the church Ciudad de Refugio, which in English means City of Refuge Church. They say this pastor befriended and gained the trust of this 13-year-old victim, took him to the movies and shopping, and then violated that trust.
He would pick him.
That's run by the Housing Authority of Austin. A North Austin pet owner says his dog did not have to die at the hands of Austin police. Now, with the help of friends, he's filing a complaint against APD for the canine killing. KXAN's Rich Parsons has both sides of the story tonight.
Gary Smith says his dog Molly's only crime on Valentine's Day was showing too much love to Austin police.
She went up the trail just too friendly. That's what happened.
He says Molly and his other dog Blue were going to greet cops who had come to clear out a camp on Walnut Creek where Smith was helping some homeless folks.
But I'm sitting right here. All of a sudden I hear a pop. And that's the first thing that I heard.
That pop was a gunshot fired by one of 3 approaching officers, hitting Molly in the mouth. No one but the officer actually saw the shooting happen. Smith was in the homeless camp back here behind the trees. The dog was shot somewhere out here in this area.
The dog ran around the side and went into the tent and died over there.
But Austin police say Molly and Blue were anything but friendly.
The dog was charging toward the officers aggressively.
That's when officers say they yelled a warning to people in the camp to restrain the dogs. Got no response and hit the dogs with pepper spray.
One dog decided to slow down. The other dog got into kind of a crouching motion, shall I say. And
Your news starts now.
Accusations of abuse today.
An Austin pastor is accused of fondling a young boy. Austin police say there may be more victims. I'm Julie Shields with that story coming up.
I'm Jim Spencer. A couple of disturbances riding this jet stream headed our way. I'll tell you how they will affect our weather coming up.
Home building nightmares and remodeling ripoffs. I'm Chris Willis. What you need to know to protect your investment coming up.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. Your news starts now.
Hi, everyone. We begin tonight with some breaking news.
A bomb threat leads to evacuations at a Georgetown apartment complex, and emergency crews at the scene find something suspicious. KXAN's Jenny Hoff is live at the scene with our top story.
Robert, police here are just cleaning up the scene, and residents of the Water's Edge apartments who were being kept here in the clubhouse behind me have now been sent back to their homes. But they all had quite a scare tonight. Apparently, earlier in the evening, a resident of this apartment complex, Raul Jimenez, made a threat to a janitor here, saying there was a bomb in his car, a package that was ticking, about to go off any minute.
Your news starts now.
KXAN Live, Chopper 36 in the air this afternoon out at Mansfield Dam on Lake Travis. If breaking news happens, you will see it right here first.
We're following a health alert. A Travis County man exposed to the plague.
And South by Southwest Mania sweeps over Austin. Is it too late to get your ticket? Good afternoon. We begin with a health alert for Travis County.
A Travis County man contacts a case of non-contagious plague. KXAN's Selma Harpetian has been working with the health department on this case, and officials are calling it very unusual. She's live in the newsroom with the latest on this developing health story. Silva, the plague?
Yes, that's right. You heard correctly. Most people think the illness is no longer exist around here, but
with at least 3 children at a camp in Burnett County. KXAN's Connie Swinney joins us live with this developing story.
Well, Robert, on trial today, 23-year-old Kelly James McCarty. His accusers are 3 10-year-old boys, and they allege that the incidents happened back in August of 2004. Now, at that time, McCarthy was working as a...
After a rollover crash this morning on I-35, KXAN's TxDOT camera caught the accident scene. at around 6:30 this morning. Police say the driver of a red SUV hit a white pickup truck and both vehicles flipped over. Well, police arrested 23-year-old Daniel Garduño after he walked away from the scene of the wreck. Police say Garduño was driving the SUV and charges are pending. News and breaking news. That's followed by KXAN Olympic Zone at 6:30.
And don't forget, we're going to have NBC coverage of the Olympics for 1 hour beginning at 4 o'clock. Wheel of Fortune is next, and it will return at its regular time next Monday at 6:30. But we'll see you back here at 6.
The news doesn't stop, and neither do we. For the latest news, weather, and more, log on to KXAN.com. It's all you need in a click.
Austin cops accused of inappropriate behavior and causing a dangerous situation. I'm Sally Hernandez with that exclusive all-new report.
A case of the plague in Travis County.
What?
I'm Silva Harapetian. Will tell you what you need to know.
So you didn't beat the crowds to get your South by Southwest wristbands, but there are still plenty of ways to get in to see all these shows. I'm Rich Parsons. I have all your options coming up.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
In a KXAN exclusive, we learned Austin police disciplined a number of APD officers last month for doing things the police chief calls either inappropriate or dangerous.
Our police reporter Sally Hernandez just got her hands on those police documents that spell it all out. At the time, Hamilton was renting a room to Bobby Ingram. Witnesses say they had several fights, and last fall, detectives got a sample of Ingram's DNA on the sly.
He discarded a cigarette butt that we actually then seized and brought back to the DPS lab.
DNA from that cigarette matched unidentified evidence from the crime scene. Ingram is now in the McClellan County Jail on an unrelated drug charge. APD expects to bring him back to Travis County in a week or so.
She shot her ex-boyfriend 10 times. Today, convicted killer Rhonda Glover learned she will spend decades in prison. A Travis County jury sentenced her to 46 years behind bars for the July 2004 shooting death of Jimmy Jost. Glover and Jost dated for years and have a son together. Even though defense attorneys argued Glover shot Jost in self-defense, the jury didn't buy it.
We saw a lot of lies, you know, when we put that together.
And police are investigating a reported sexual assault at Leander High School. A 15-year-old girl says she was attacked in the restrooms near the school's softball field on Tuesday afternoon. These are live pictures coming in from KXAN's Chopper 36. Police say the suspect is white, between 16 and 18 years old. He's about 5 foot 8 inches to 5 foot 10 inches tall, weighing 150 pounds with a muscular build. Leander ISD sent letters home about the incident today with the students, and we have a crew working to bring you the very latest on this investigation. And we'll have more tonight on our late news at 11.
A health alert in Travis County. Listen to this. A man has been diagnosed with the plague. He contracted the infection while hunting in Lee County, New Mexico. KXAN Silva Harpetian has been following the story. She has spoken to health officials and has reaction from hunters. Hi, Silva.
Hi, Michelle. Here at the Health and Human Services Department, doctors here tell us that they're investigating this case. They told us today that the hunt...
Well, some sunshine out today. Turned out to be a beautiful Thursday. In fact, still at this hour, KXAN Live Chopper 36 showing us a beautiful picture of the sun just about 15 minutes here before sunset tonight. Nice to see it back, wasn't it? It's been a while. But you better look good this evening because it is going away again real soon. In fact, we may have rain falling out of the clouds tomorrow. Your forecast coming up.
You almost have to have a wristband to see most of the shows.
That is not true. If you missed out on today's South by Southwest wristband sale, we've got plans B, C, and D for you. And the hip replacement for the active adult with a younger generation wearing out the joint. We'll show you a new surgery that promises a faster recovery. And we thank you for watching KXAN NBC Austin.
Exactly, and sometimes even the wristband doesn't get you in. Right?
Yeah.
High capacity. Well, isn't that beautiful?
That is gorgeous.
Chopper zoomed in with our super zoom lens. I don't know what we call that thing, but it zooms way in, doesn't it? That's the sunshine about to set at 6:25 tonight. Boy, it was nice to see it back again today, wasn't it?
Breaking news, a massive explosion rocks downtown Lockhart tonight. KXAN's Chopper 36 is in the air as emergency crews evacuate the area. The very latest in a live report. Bad behavior behind the scenes at the Austin Police Department.
It's kind of scary.
What APD doesn't want you to hear. Good deals or hazardous products. The dangers inside discount stores. See what our hidden cameras found.
That's coming up at 11 after the Olympics. Cast is presented.
Breaking news, an explosion and fire rocked Lockhart tonight. We're live on the ground and the air with pictures you won't see anywhere else.
If you shop at those discount dollar places, you could save some money, but you may pay the price. I'm Chris Willis, the real deal on discount shopping coming up.
Sure was nice to see that sunshine break out again today, but you might be surprised how quickly things are going to turn around.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. Your news starts now.
Good evening. We begin tonight with some breaking news.
At this hour, crews are still at the scene of a fire that broke out at a feed store in Lockhart, about 30 miles south of Austin. Here's a live picture now from KXAN Chopper 36. The fire broke out around 8 o'clock at the Living Good Mill near U.S. Highway 183. 2 people at the scene were taken to Brackenridge Hospital in Austin for treatment. KXAN's Jenny Hoff live in Lockhart with tonight's top story.
Robert, as you said, there are crews still on the scene here, and they plan to be here all night at Live and Good Feeds, and that's because there is still grain smoldering inside, and they don't want to put their firefighters.
And we have more breaking news. Take a look at these pictures just in from the Fort Worth area. A 14,000 square foot mansion under renovation in the affluent Fort Worth suburb of Westover Hills went up in flames tonight. The fire burned through the building's roof. No one was hurt, and the fire is now under control. The home was built in the early 1930s by Texas oil tycoon John Laughlin.
A Leander High School student says she was sexually assaulted in a campus bathroom. Students today found the bathrooms where the alleged assault took place locked. They'll stay that way until school officials are confident the area is safe. The restrooms are at the far end of the school property across the girls' softball field. The team was
KXAN First Cast.
A Fort Worth family is still in mourning of the death of a 46-year-old wife and mother after she apparently died after getting a pedicure. Kim Jackson died earlier this month. Her family says she died from a staph infection she received at a Fort Worth nail salon last July.
Something so stupid like a pedicure took her.
KXAN's Jim Bergamo joins us now with what a state agency right here in Austin is doing to make sure such a tragedy doesn't happen again. Jim?
Michelle, while this may be the first time a death has resulted from improperly sanitized foot spas, complaints against the cosmetology industry were frequent enough that it's now being regulated by the...
Well, your forecast is coming up.
A scare at the Olympic Games in Torino today. We'll show you what happened. And we'll have more information coming in after a large explosion and fire south of Austin in Lockhart. We'll bring you the latest and more exclusive pictures from KXAN's Chopper 36.
If you shop at these discount places, you may be paying the price. I'm Chris Willis. We're going undercover to take you inside for Discount Dangers. That's coming up.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
The Olympic Tonight Show is coming up next.
Did you watch, Sasha?
The news doesn't stop, and neither do we. For the latest news, weather, and more, log on to KXAN.com. It's all you need in a click. Your news starts now.
And we're first with breaking news at Del Valley High School. 2 15-year-olds arrested with a gun on campus. We'll have the latest.
Child indecency. A former camp counselor awaiting a spade on 3 charges of inappropriately touching children.
Street justice. A customer fights back after a man tries to steal from his local convenience store. Wait till you see this one. And we begin with breaking news. 2 students arrested for having a gun at Del Valley High School.
Yeah, let's get right to it. Let's go to a live picture from KXAN Chopper 36. Travis County investigators tell us someone tipped off the school resource officer, and that information led to the arrest of 2 15-year-old boys at the school after investigators found a pistol in a backpack. It happened around 12:45 as the boys were eating lunch outside, but it still happened on campus. They were arrested without incident, and at this point, there's no word on whether the gun, there's no word on whether it was loaded. The Travis County Sheriff's spokesperson says that that's still very much under investigation at this hour, as well as whether the boys were involved in anything else or if anybody else was involved with them. Letters will go out about the incident to children or students at that school at the end of the day, starting at 4 o'clock. We have a KXAN crew working on getting information for you and a live report, and we'll bring that to you as soon as it happens. On to another big story. A Hill Country jury is trying to decide the fate of an ex-camp counselor standing accused of molesting 3 young boys at a day camp in the Hill Country.
KXAN's Connie Swinney joins us live from the Burnett County Courthouse with the latest on the trial.
Well, Robert, the judge asked the jury to keep deliberating through the verdict as it becomes available. Back to you.
Thank you, Connie. Busted and booked. A Corpus Christi man behind bars at this hour charged with criminal solicitation of a minor. Austin police arrested this guy, Jerry Pierce of Corpus Christi, on Thursday. Investigators say Pierce thought he was meeting an underage girl right here in Austin. Well, the investigation shows that Pierce started communicating online with an undercover detective pretending to be a girl back in October. And during a recent chat, Pierce asked to meet in Austin. Police say when he showed up, officers arrested him without incident.
And Round Rock police are trying to find this man. Investigators say that Lino Gonzalez Escamilla molested his girlfriend's 9-year-old daughter at their Round Rock apartment. He's charged with indecency with a child. Escamilla is a Mexican citizen, but police believe he may have fled to Nebraska. Police in Leander are tracking leads in an alleged sexual assault that took place at Leander High School earlier this week. Investigators tell KXAN News the doors are still locked to the restrooms near this softball field. The victim, a 15-year-old girl, tells police she was sexually assaulted on Wednesday afternoon. Police are on the lookout.
Coming up.
Jim, thanks. A would-be thief is stopped in his tracks, but not by police. KXAN Santa Henderson joins us live with how a concerned citizen sprang into action to stop a crime. Santa.
Well, Robert, the police say the suspect wanted beer, but he got much more than he bargained for when a concerned customer got involved. Now, it all unfolded at this
tonight at 10 o'clock. Good luck. Well, unrest in Iraq and potential for a civil war.
Well, today the streets are calm because of a curfew. We'll talk live to retired Army General Barry McCafferty about the developing situation there next. And here's a live look from KXAN Chopper 36 at Del Valley High School southeast of Austin, where 2 students, 15-year-olds, were arrested for bringing a gun to school. Our KXAN crew there setting up for another live report, and we'll have it for you later here on our special edition of our news at 3 o'clock.
Another chances of rain Thursday into Friday.
All right, thank you,
Jim, thanks. Okay. Update now on some breaking news. We first told you about 2 15-year-olds arrested today at Del Valley High School southeast of Austin for bringing a gun to campus. KXAN's Rich Parsons is live with this update. Rich.
Robert, we just spoke with school officials out here from the Del Valley ISD. They tell us there was no disruption to class out here and students were never in danger. In fact, classes are going on behind me right now. But here's a rundown of what happened according to Del Valley school officials and the Travis County Sheriff's Department. They tell us the school resource officer was tipped off to a student with a gun about 12:45 this afternoon during the 3rd lunch period. Well, officers located 2 15-year-old students eating lunch on campus but outside the building and found a handgun in one of the students' backpacks. Both were taken into custody without incident and face a charge of possession of a weapon in a prohibited area. That's a 3rd-degree felony. The Sheriff's Office won't say what kind of a handgun it is or whether or not this handgun was loaded. They say the investigation continues and more people may be involved, but they won't tell me in what capacity. For example, who may have supplied the gun or if other people were handling the gun. Right now, one of our other KXAN News 36 crews is being briefed by the Sheriff's Office, and we will have much more in the way of details as they become available, and a full report tonight on News 36 at 6. But again, kids out here at the high school are in no danger, and there was no major disruption to any classes. Back to you.
All right, Rich, thank you for that report. First at 3.
And we'll have more news for you after this.
36 is on its way to a rollover near 360 and Mopac.
And we'll get more information on that, but first a live look at far west in Mopac, where it's going pretty well here at 3:27 on a Friday afternoon. You're watching KXAN, NBC Austin.
On the weather, too, coming up at 6.
Okay, we will be back at 6 o'clock for more of today's local news and weather. Then that's followed by KXAN Olympic Zone at 6:30.
And we'll see you then.
Security.
I'm Rich Parsons outside Del Valley High School, where 2 students are in custody tonight after being caught with a handgun. I'll have reaction and details of the investigation coming up.
He used to be a quarterback, but today...
I wasn't trying to hurt him, but I was trying to get him, and I got him.
I'm Santa Henderson. Coming up, I'll explain how the suspect was tackled.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
A school lunch ends in 2 arrests today.
Yeah, a handgun turned up in a student's backpack at Del Valley High School. KXAN's Rich Parsons has been there since before school let out. Rich, anybody hurt out there?
No, Sally, no one hurt, but as you can imagine, parents and students very shaken up tonight, even though school officials claim there was never any serious threat to students or teachers on campus today. It was a stunned Del Valley High student body heading home for the weekend Friday after 2 classmates were caught with a handgun on campus.
They were all hanging outside or whatever, and like someone told on them that like they had guns and like drugs and stuff.
I looked, they're still showing the gun and stuff, like dang. And then I went back inside and then I seen 5 kids getting not handcuffed, but they're getting tied up.
Parents got this letter with few details of the incident, but assurances from school staff that students here are safe.
To happen here, you know, it is a surprise because you don't think it's going to happen here like everybody else thinks, but it does.
School officials say an on-campus resource officer got a tip about the gun shortly before 1. The search was on. Officers and administrators found the students outside during 3rd period lunch with a handgun in a backpack.
There was a group of kids sitting at a picnic table. All of them were taken into custody without incident. We don't believe anybody else was in danger during the course of the day.
Now 2 15-year-olds are in custody, each facing a charge of possession of a firearm in a prohibited place. Investigators are still looking into where the gun came from, who brought it to school, and who had possession of it during the day.
This is the best case scenario. We received the tip. Everything went like clockwork. The school worked together with our school resource officer and did a fantastic job.
And because they are still investigating, law enforcement won't tell us what kind of a handgun it is or if it was loaded when it was on campus here. They do say more arrests are possible. And students did identify the suspects to us, but because the suspects are minors, we are not going to report their names this evening. We will have much more on this story tonight on News 36 after the Olympics. Reporting live in Del Valley, Rich Parsons, back to you.
All right, Rich, you know that 2 other schools went on lockdown today. A parent reported a possible gun on either the campus of Dessau Elementary or Dessau Middle School. District officials would only release the students to parents or even escort them to school buses as a precaution. The 2 15-year-old boys faced school disciplinary punishment after officials discovered they had a toy gun.
A judge declared a mistrial today in the case of a man accused of molesting 3 boys at a Hill Country summer camp. KXAN's Connie Swinney spoke to one of the jurors and joins us live with this exclusive report.
Well, Robert, the jurors deadlocked about an hour and a half ago, and they could not decide whether or not they agreed with the evidence from the state.
It was 10-2, and it was more not guilty.
Jurors trying to decide whether or not to convict 23-year-old Kelly James McCarty on charges of indecency with a child. 3 10-year-old boys accused him of fondling them at Camp Balcony Springs in 2004. The defense argued camp investigators planted the molestation accusations in the boys' heads. Jurors criticized the camp for first conducting its own inquiry before bringing in police investigators.
The state didn't have enough evidence, and they didn't call authority when they should have from the beginning.
Jurors have the option of retrying this case, and all the assistant district attorney would tell us is that she's not finished with it. McCarty declined comment. He remains a free man. Reporting live in Burnett, Connie Swinney, KXAN, NBC Austin.
And we just got this into the KXAN newsroom. A South Austin pastor charged with indecency with a child has been arrested again. KXAN News confirmed Rodolfo Sosa was arrested this morning and charged with a 2nd count of indecency with a child. Investigators tell us this 2nd case involves a 12-year-old little boy. In the 1st case, Sosa is accused of fondling a 13-year-old boy who attended the Ciudad de Refugio Church in South Austin. That congregation rented space from another church on Slaughter Lane here. Investigators say even more charges may be filed next week. And Round Rock police are asking the public to help find a man who's wanted for molesting a 9-year-old girl. Investigators say this man, Lino Gonzalez Escamilla, who's a Mexican citizen, molested his girlfriend's daughter at their Round Rock apartment. Police believe Escamilla fled to the Dallas area and is possibly living with friends, even relatives, in Arlington.
Leander ISD isn't talking about a reassigned principal tonight. Now outraged parents are refocusing their anger on the superintendent's silence rather than the decision. KXAN Silva Harapetian is live outside Santa Ranch Elementary School with this continuing controversy.
Hi, Robert. Now, Bob Medlin was a principal here at Steiner Elementary School up until a few days ago. Now, since his reassignment, staff here has been trying to continue without any interruptions. But if any of these angry emails from parents are any indication, this controversy is not going.
Live, exclusive coverage of a destructive wildfire southeast of Austin. The latest from crews in the midst of smoke and flames and perspective you cannot see anywhere else but KXAN Chopper 36.
The UT poison scare. Find out what campus police say they do differently next time.
A mosquito explosion in Texas. Find out why the little biters might sting more this season than most.
From KXAN NBC Austin, this is your news at 6.
Good evening. Breaking news you first saw here on KXAN. A wildfire spread through an area east of San Marcos, burning several structures.
KXAN's Chris Willis is near the small community of Reedville in western Caldwell County. Chris, what's the latest there?
Boy, that video just to the left of you two gives it a good idea of just how fast and furious these flames got out of control. The fire is out. That's the good news. Take a look. Crews are just mopping up right now. You can see the trucks from the Texas Forest Service and about 12 different other agencies on the scene here. The fire is out. We're going to give you several perspectives of these flames. But first, the details. 2 homes destroyed, 2 structures down, no injuries, and the wind, as we mentioned, a huge factor. Let's go to the chopper. That's the scene right now. As you can see it, the flames are out as KXAN Live Chopper 36 hovers about. But boy, just about an hour ago, that was not the case. Let's go to that video from earlier and show you just what we're talking about. Flames out of control, and the wind on this one was just whipping. Wind came in and just set those flames from one area to another. You can see the 2 homes that were destroyed in this, and the wildfire just caught up. It wasn't too long ago we had some significant rain, and boy, that just didn't matter with these winds. Look at those flames. They burned like crazy. We had video on the ground as well with crews there, and we can show you some of this. First of all, take a look at that. There's the wide and then the tight shot of that house, and then boom, it's up in smoke and the chopper is over it. That is Starflight, and they were dropping water on this thing one after another. Folks, the fire came up to the back door there, and guys fighting it with their garden hoses. Watch as this house collapses right in the middle of your screen there. Again, 2 homes were destroyed by this, and 2 structures as well. Now, to give you an idea of exactly where we are in Caldwell County, just along the Hayes County line, and there's where the fire broke out. And we can tell you, too, as we come back live, that a lot of these folks were evacuated. We want to go ahead and show you off to the distance here. The fire line, we were right on it just a while ago, and all those homes that you're looking at now were evacuated. Well, now those people are being let back into their homes because they dodged a bullet on this one. We were over at those homes just a little bit earlier and could hardly breathe with the smoke coming in, and now you can see it is clear, and the line behind us, again, we were on the fire line, and now just the sun setting. You can see the hot spots in the background. Some staging crews and areas are set up to make sure no hot spots come. But let's get the latest from Jim Spencer now, who can tell us exactly how these winds, how strong they were, and boy, what a menace they were to firefighters. Jim?
They sure were, Chris. They're coming down a little bit right now. Let's go to show you the wind gusts here. These are the current wind gusts, and they're up over 20 miles per hour still down there around the San Marcos area at the airport, gusting to 22. But early in the afternoon, we were watching gusts over 30 miles per hour, and certainly that had a great deal to do with the spreading of that fire. Expecting some pretty decent wind again tomorrow, too, so the fire danger going to be high for the next several days. That and the 7-day forecast coming up.
Well, today, UT police admit things could have gone more smoothly during a scare over the deadly toxin ricin on Friday. You'll recall initial tests of a white powder found at Moore Hill Dormitory came back positive on Thursday. Rich Parsons is live outside the residence hall with more. Rich?
To you. A Travis County grand jury just indicted a Del Valle man for murder in the death of his girlfriend.
I love you, Mom. Love your dad. Sorry for all this.
That was 23-year-old Ali Almeric. After his arrest last November, San Antonio police arrested him for fatally shooting a Greyhound bus security guard. That's where they say he confessed to killing 38-year-old Sherry Alvarez at her home in Pflugerville. KXAN News covered the murder when Travis County investigators discovered Alvarez's body. She had been stabbed to death and dumped in a field in East Austin. A gun at the airport lands an Austin man in jail. Kenneth Tratter was arrested on Friday after trying to go through the security checkpoint with a gun in his carry-on bag. Airport officials say Tratner told them he simply forgot he had it there. And it's not the first time they've heard that excuse. Here.
Hi again. Let's go back live to the team covering tonight's top story. Chris Willis is working to bring you the very latest on a wildfire in Caldwell County. Now, is it about pretty much contained right now?
Michelle, that is the latest. This fire is out, but a lot of homeowners around here breathing a big-time sigh of relief. 2 families tonight, we can't tell you, are without their homes. They were burnt to the ground, and a couple structures as well burnt to the ground. We're going to give you a before and after. That is the right now. That is what's going on right now. The fire is out, just the hot spots you can see. But take a look at the before here. The chopper was up, and we had several perspectives of this fire. The flames, thanks to the winds, we're putting this up like a tinderbox. Again, we mentioned 2 families without a home. This one went up and kept changing directions. You know, we've been on the scene of several brush fires over the past few months, and this one, like none other really, just kept changing directions and giving firefighters a real tough time because of those winds. And we can tell you as well that the 2 families that are burnt out of their homes are checking with officials here on the scene to see where they're going to stay and make arrangements of where they're going to go. How this fire started is yet to be determined. Again, right now the biggest concern for firefighters is putting out the hot spots, making sure nothing kicks up again. And these winds again are still pretty strong out here, so that's going to be a chore for them. And then they will shift to see how this fire started. We'll have that for you at 10. For now, we're in Caldwell County. Chris Willis, KXAN, NBC.
Chris, thanks. And children playing with a lighter sparked this 2-alarm apartment fire that forced 30 residents out of their homes. It all started around 8 o'clock last night at the Anderson Springs Apartments. Officials say the fire destroyed 3 apartment units while smoke and water damaged a few others. The damage there totaled at $500,000. The Red Cross is helping 30 residents displaced by the fire. They will be able now to move into other apartments within that same complex.
Now, regarding those burn bans, it could be confusing. You know, Caldwell County lifted that burn ban and reinstated it today.
Get it first. Homes go up in flames in Caldwell County. The likely cause, human error. I'm Chris Willis. The details from Caldwell County coming up.
And a KXAN Crime Tracker investigation. Thieves can break into your home and rob you blind in a matter of minutes. We'll show you the best ways to keep your home a crime-free zone.
I'm Jim Spencer. Spring's still 3 weeks away, but you might not know it this week. I'll have your forecast.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 10.
Good evening, everyone. Caldwell County's burn ban is back in effect tonight.
This after a grass fire spread quickly and left 2 families homeless. Here's the bird's eye view you can't see anywhere else, courtesy of KXAN Chopper 36. You can see the firefighters at the scene of one of the homes that burned to the ground this afternoon. And as this picture zooms out, you can get a better idea of just how big this fire was and how much damage it caused. It's proof that the fire danger remains high even after our recent rains. The fire broke out in the 100 block of Glover Lane. That's near the San Marcos Municipal Airport in western Caldwell County. The first 911 call started coming in just after 3 this afternoon. Here's the fire by the numbers tonight. It burned approximately 60 acres. The flames destroyed 2 homes. They also caused moderate damage to 3 other homes. KXAN's Chris Willis is live in Caldwell County with the latest on tonight's top story.
Robert, good evening. This area of Caldwell County went up like a tinderbox. As you mentioned, 60 acres burned, 5 homes damaged, 2 a total loss. To give you an idea of how quickly those went up in flames, take a look. That is all that remains of a house. A family woke up this morning. That was their house tonight. They're working with the Red Cross to find somewhere to stay. Ironically, the burn ban was lifted in Caldwell County yesterday. That proved to be a mistake. It is back in place tonight, and the cause of this fire is under investigation, could likely be attributed to human error. From KXAN Chopper 36, you can see how quickly homes went up in flames. Chuck Adair considers himself lucky. Flames reached his back porch, but his home was spared.
I was pretty blessed because you look around, every place else is burned around me. And mine's the house in the middle that didn't get burned.
Others were not so lucky. Watch as the gusty winds act as a vacuum to fan the flames of this barn. Chuck's neighbor lost everything, but wasn't about to let Chuck's house burn too.
It was too far gone. He had tried, and then it just erupted, and there was nothing he could do. So he came over here and started helping me keep mine from catching on fire.
With this many people in possible jeopardy, everybody pulls together at a time like this to help each other.
Fast flames and whipping conditions left others helpless. Automobiles destroyed, barns and sheds up in flames in minutes, and firefighters scrambling to keep the situation from getting worse.
It literally went from these 2 houses right here through the fence into our yard.
and it's just luckily it didn't hit our propane tank.
James Gonzalez also joined the fight to keep neighboring homes from burning. He helped some, but couldn't save them all.
And then we realized this house over here was on fire, and I feel real bad because, you know, I tried to help out, you know, and just it burned down.
As Starflight dropped water, the Forest Service brought in a dozer to dig a fire line. Nearly a dozen departments helped put out the blaze, but anxiety and fear burned all afternoon.
To look at your house and see it possibly go up in flames, yeah, it's scary.
Boy, I can attest to it. The winds are whipping here in Caldwell County just after 10 o'clock tonight. That proved to be a big hindrance to firefighters today. Those two families that we mentioned earlier that lost their homes are working with the Red Cross tonight to find a place to stay, and the Texas Forest Service as always tonight. Warning people, don't be deceived by the recent rains we've had. They're warning anybody who does any type of outdoor burning to use extreme caution. We're live in Caldwell County tonight. I'm Chris Willis, KXAN, NBC Austin.
A true example of loving thy neighbor. Thank you very much, Chris. Well, bring a weapon to the airport and chances are you're not going to catch your flight.
News first at 4.
SWAT standoff today in southeast Austin and a suspect on the run. KXAN Chopper 36 is above the scene and our crews on the ground have the pictures you will not see anywhere else.
And oh yes, it's Fat Tuesday. We're live with the former residents of New Orleans, bringing that tradition to the streets of Austin.
But we begin today at 4 o'clock with the end to that SWAT standoff at the Canyon Oaks Apartments.
Take a look at this exclusive video from KXAN Chopper 36. APD SWAT team surrounding an apartment at about 10 in the morning where they thought a gunman might be hiding out. This all happened in an area on Burton Drive near Riverside. KXAN's Rich Parsons is following today's top story with more on how this all started. Hi, Rich.
Hi, Michelle. Well, this all began about 1 o'clock this morning with a shooting right outside that apartment you see over my right shoulder where the windows have been blown out. Now, the windows weren't shot out. Those windows are gone because that's where the APD SWAT team made entry this afternoon. Folks are over there cleaning up right now. Police say the gunman shot 2 people outside that apartment during some sort of altercation early this morning. The police say during their investigation they got information the suspect might be in that apartment, so SWAT was called out about 10 a.m. Police say they made entry into the apartment with a robot shortly after 1 o'clock this afternoon. Then the SWAT team followed, but no suspect was inside.
We take this approach very seriously. We had belief that there was a possibly armed person inside this apartment.
Well, police tell us both victims were taken to Brackenridge Hospital with minor injuries and one has already been released. Police are not releasing the names of the victims or the suspect, but they just gave me a description of the suspect. They say he is an Hispanic male, about 5 feet 7 inches tall, about 150 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes, and they're not sure if this is gang related, but they do confirm that the APD gang unit has been out here today as part of this investigation. We will have much more information on all of this and reaction from residents who, as you can imagine, are a little stunned right now. We'll have all that tonight on News 36 at 6. We're live in South Austin. Rich Parsons, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Well, it is Fat Tuesday, and the celebrations are in full swing right now in New Orleans. Revelers are out in full force, and the last big blowout before Lent begins tomorrow on Ash Wednesday. This year's Mardi Gras in New Orleans is smaller and briefer, but seems no less festive.
Armed officers at the ready, a SWAT team on the roll. From the air and on the ground, KXAN gives you views of the Austin operation you won't see anywhere else.
Was he gunning for officers or swerving to avoid them? Hear the debate as this driver lands in an Austin courtroom for a second time.
And it's Fat Tuesday. We'll take you downtown for a look at Mardi Gras preparations and expectations.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
A SWAT team operation stops part of Austin in its tracks as Austin police look for a shooting suspect on the loose.
When the news broke this morning, KXAN sent Chopper 36 to find out the scope of the situation in southeast Austin. Burton Drive shut down south of Riverside, and you can see the team standing by, ready in just about every position. Then we waited. KXAN's Rich Parsons took a team on the ground to the Canyon Oaks Apartments. Rich, where's the suspect now?
Well, Michelle, that's exactly what police want to know. They haven't released his identity to us yet, but they've been looking for this guy since about 1 o'clock this morning when they say he shot 2 people at this apartment over here over my right shoulder. Snipers set in position Austin's SWAT ready for anything. But police find nothing inside a South Austin apartment Tuesday after a 3-hour stakeout.
Ensuring the safety of people are in the area and our officers. We entered this very slowly, very cautiously.
Police thought the gunman from an overnight shooting at the Canyon Oaks apartment was inside.
We don't know if the individual is still armed at this point.
Austin police say it all began here about 1 o'clock Tuesday morning with some sort of altercation. They say the suspect shot 2 others, sending both to the hospital with minor injuries. One was treated and released.
It was kind of crazy.
The shooting and SWAT response left residents like Lisa Gonzalez shaken.
I don't feel that safe, but I'm not here for very much longer, so I only got about a month left.
Abuse today. You won't believe what a teenager says happened in this portable building in town.
Detectives had me for about 8 hours, handcuffed. Trying to let me talk, but
Handcuffed, interrogated, then let go. But this man knows exactly what happened during a SWAT standoff with Austin police. We'll tell you why.
Central Texans are dealing with drought conditions, but does that mean the lakes are all dried up? I'm Connie 20. I have details coming up on KXAN NBC Austin.
But first, step 4, the fight over your vote goes to the nation's highest court. The U.S. Supreme Court gets in the middle of the 3-year battle over Texas redistricting. Good afternoon, everyone. The justices just wrapped up a rare 2-hour session hearing arguments about the political lines for congressional districts in Texas.
Democrats and several minority rights groups lost their court fight to block the Republican redistricting in 2003. Redistricting is the process of making the state's political boundaries, and that determines who represents you in Congress. Justices are considering whether a Republican-friendly map promoted by former U.S. House Majority Leader Tom DeLay is unconstitutional. The 2003 boundaries approved by the GOP-controlled state legislature helped the Republican Party pick up 6 seats in Congress, one right here in Travis County. And the court will also consider whether the Texas plan violates the Voting Rights Act, which is designed to protect minority voting rights. KXAN's Rich Parsons is here.
I'm Connie 20. I have details coming up on KXAN NBC Austin.
But first, step 4, the fight over your vote goes to the nation's highest court. The U.S. Supreme Court gets in the middle of the 3-year battle over Texas redistricting. Good afternoon, everyone. The justices just wrapped up a rare 2-hour session hearing minutes.
The man police say opened fire on a group of people in southeast Austin is now behind bars. It wasn't easy, though. APD SWAT teams thought they first had their suspect cornered at this apartment complex yesterday afternoon, but it was all a false alarm. And that's not all. KXAN Sally Hernandez is live at the courthouse. Sally, what'd you find out today?
We found out a lot of things, Robert. As you know, KXAN every morning checks the courthouse here, and we always look for arrest warrants. Today, we found an arrest warrant that actually names that suspect, the shooting suspect that you're talking about. But we didn't expect to find a man walking, practically skipping out of jail here, smiling because he says Austin police almost named him as the shooter. Yeah, check it out. Tony Figueroa walked out of jail, says he was held in jail on an unrelated charge, though, and says he was handcuffed and interrogated for 8 hours by police about that shooting. He admits he was there.
High temperatures here this afternoon. Fortunately, not as much wind as we've seen over the last couple of days, but that is a different story up in southern Oklahoma. You are looking at live pictures from Oklahoma's News Channel 4 helicopter there in southern Oklahoma near Duncan, where a couple of wildfires have gotten loose here this afternoon and are in the process of burning many acres. Firefighters up there trying to keep those under control. The whole state of Oklahoma under a fire warning today. Another fire near Empire City, also there in southern Oklahoma, burning this afternoon. So we're lucky we haven't seen anybody doing any illegal burning, and therefore none of those fires have gotten away from us today. Look at those temperatures, though. 93 out in Llano. This is the first day of March. We're still winter here, and that's a July temperature right there. 90.
We'll show you what workers uncovered in Williamson County today as we take another live look at the fire going on in southern Oklahoma. A wildfire there due to the dry conditions, and another look at the KXAN downtown camera at a beautiful but warm Wednesday afternoon. You're watching KXAN NBC Austin.
An update on that breaking news happening at the Chugging Monkey, a bar in downtown Austin. KXAN's Chris Willis joins us live with the latest from there. Now, there's a nearby fire department. Did that help in the response, Chris?
We have about 10 units on the scene right now. It happened at about 3:45, so it's still kind of in the initial stages. We're just going to walk you through this breaking news and let you see what is happening for yourself here. First, Chugging Monkey is the location here. That is the nucleus of this fire. Firefighters came in and found fire started in one of the bathrooms there and then quickly climbed the walls and went up into the attic. You can see as we pan over to the right a little bit for you here, Chris, smoke still coming off. You can see it against those taller buildings, so they are still having a problem with that. The smoke continues to come off, and what they're doing right now, the fire department told us, is an overhaul, which means they're going in, putting out the fires, obviously, checking for hot spots, and then they're chasing the smoke as well. So they're going to several locations up and down the roof, chasing the smoke, making sure this is out. Now, as I step back in here, you can see the Soho Lounge is right here. You've got Darwin's Pub as well. And a lot of these buildings are adjacent, connected to one another. So the threat of this fire jumping over to one of the other buildings was still huge through this. Let's go over here and show you how they got up. Special operations crews went ahead and went up on the Darwin, the roof here, and then climbed in. You can see them up on the roof right now, on the top of that ladder, still working those hot spots and the smoke. Again, about 10 units, about 30 personnel here on the scene. And you can see just around us here, we're just right on the side of this hazardous materials do not enter tape. But they are still, the PIOs and the fire department specialists are still trying to determine what they're going to do from this point, to make sure this one is out for good. They are saying it's out, but again, they are saying it's in overhaul, so they're checking just to make sure that. One quick other point, you can see behind me here some of the air tanks that are located on the ground. They're going to strap those on the firefighters, and they're going to go back inside. They're not sure what kind of materials are in the air once the smoke starts coming in. So just to be on the safe side, any hazardous materials that may be burning, they've got it covered with those tanks. We're on the scene right in the heart of 6th Street here with this fire, and we'll keep you posted and bring you more information coming up at 6. Back to you.
Chris, thank you very much. Well, we didn't win last night's drawing for the Mega Millions, Robert.
Back at work. Fire shoots through a downtown Austin building today. We'll show you what helped it climb quickly above a popular bar in a live report.
Ended up 42 days in intensive care, 14 in a coma.
All new at 6, see how a tragic accident changed one police officer's perspective on life.
And thieves bust up a Best Buy store. We'll show you where they were when they smashed into the Georgetown location and why police say this may not have been their first stop.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
Good evening, everyone. We begin with breaking news. Firefighters are mopping up a fire on 6th Street.
It broke out above the Chuggin' Monkey. That's a bar between Brazos and San Jacinto Streets. KXAN's Chris Willis is live outside. Chris, anybody hurt?
Nobody hurt. That's the good news. Also, more good news. The fire is out here at the Chuggin' Monkey. About $200,000 in structural and merchandise damage. And we can tell you as well, we just got a cause within the last 10 minutes, a ventilation fan coming from the 2nd floor bathroom. Take a look. You can see right in front of me here, Chuggin' Monkey, things are back to normal. They're just assessing the damage. You can see some of the work continues at some of the adjacent buildings. That's because there was some smoke damage, so ventilation's still a cause. Over to my right, you can see firefighters here just mopping up in the final stages, undoing the hoses, getting the hydrants all set back up, chasing any origins of smoke and checking for any hot spots. Some of the video from earlier today, we can tell you this came down as a box alarm at about 3:45 this afternoon. Much of this area on 6th Street in San Jacinto was filled with smoke. Tense moments, the flames broke out in that 2nd floor bathroom and quickly climbed the walls, actually went up into the attic area. Firefighters attacked it from the back alley, from the roof, and went right in the front door up to that 2nd floor bathroom. Now, the big concern was those adjacent buildings. These clubs and restaurants all share a common wall. So the threat of those flames starting in one spot and burning several establishments is always on the minds of people who know this area.
It always is, and of course we've experienced a little bit of that, you know, where it can move from one building to another.
In Virginia.
And thieves have hit another Best Buy electronics store. Now investigators are trying to figure out whether this burglary is connected with others in our area. KXAN's Jim Bergamo joins us live from Georgetown with more on this.
Robert, this latest incident happened early Tuesday morning at the Best Buy here at the new Wolf Ranch Shopping Center in Georgetown. And just like those previous incidents you just referred to, most notably the one in San Marcos, the burglars used a stolen vehicle to crash right into the store. Here's some video we shot earlier today. You can see Best Buy has already boarded up the overhead door leading into the installation area. Now, investigators say the burglars...
Hello again, I'm Robert Hadlock.
And I'm Michelle Vias. A new report soon out today may help, or rather keep, some Austin police officers from doing their job. That's the allegation from a group that represents cops from across the state. KXAN Sally Hernandez is live at PD headquarters downtown with our top story. Sally, to avoid any conflict.
A Manor woman is behind bars this afternoon, charged with endangering her own child's life. According to the arrest warrant, 37-year-old Gloria Johnson got into an argument with her boyfriend at this home in Manor. The boyfriend, Hutton Roosevelt, tried to leave with their 9-month-old son. That's when Johnson allegedly doused the car in gasoline with the baby inside. Luckily, Roosevelt did not start the car and waited for police to arrive.
KXAN has learned today the local branch of the NAACP is conducting its own investigation into a teacher suspended from Sims Elementary. A family claims that the teacher physically bound a young boy and forced him to drink liquid soap as a form of discipline. But the family of the boy says AISD isn't forthcoming about that incident. Well, now the family wants the NAACP to get involved.
We can file a complaint with the department.
It's a first for the Attorney General's Cyber Crimes Unit. A Hays County man is arrested for allegedly possessing child porn on his video iPod. KXAN's Jim Bergamo joins us live in the newsroom with the latest on this disturbing case. Hi, Jim.
Good evening and good afternoon, Michelle. A video iPod like this that many people use to download and enjoy the latest music video and music clips has landed one Hays County man in the Hays County Jail. We can tell you Guzman has also been indicted on 6 counts of promotion of child pornography, and his troubles don't end with the Attorney General's office. KXAN has learned that Guzman also faces multiple charges of aggravated sexual assault of a child. The San Marcos Police Department is in charge of that investigation. We'll have much more on this story coming up at 6 o'clock on KXAN NBC Austin, including the source of the tip which led to Guzman's arrest. Robert?
Jim, thanks. A former nurse faced. Good luck to our local folks there, and thank you for joining us here for News at 4.
We'll see you again at 6 o'clock. Keep it right here for NBC Nightly News at 5:30. Access Hollywood is next.
The news doesn't stop, and neither do we. For the latest news, weather, and more, log on to KXAN.com. It's all you need in a click.
APD getting ready to release the number of minorities that pulled over or searched. Why some just say the numbers aren't going to make anyone happy.
City Council takes up dining with dogs. We'll take you to the hearing at City Hall to hear what Austinites have to say all about it.
From KXAN NBC Austin, this is your news at 6.
San Marcos man's iPod is at the center of his indictment for child pornography possession.
The 9 counts against 38-year-old Ron James Guzman allege he had several lewd videos of children stored on the device. Multiple agencies arrested Guzman in January, including the Texas Attorney General's office. KXAN's Jim Bergamo joins.
Stop, and neither do we. For the latest news, weather, and more, log on to KXAN.com. It's all you need in a click. This is your news, first at 4.
Some parents are picking up their kids from school right now only to learn of a stabbing on campus earlier this morning.
And put your tray tables in their upright positions. We'll show you a tough landing at DFW.
A fire destroys everything a family owns. I'm Silvahara Petion will tell you how this tragedy has affected this neighborhood.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michelle Vyas.
And I'm Robert Hadlock. A morning stabbing sends one student to the hospital, the other into police custody. It happened on campus at McNeil High School just before classes began there this morning. KXAN's Rich Parsons is live at the campus in Travis County with the very latest on our top story.
Robert, as you can imagine, this stabbing has sent shockwaves through this campus of 2700, and we have new information just into the KXAN newsroom. We're told that the suspect in this stabbing has been charged with attempted murder, and the victim is now in stable condition. This all happened, we're told, in a dressing room on the far end of the campus near the gymnasium. Williamson County Sheriff's investigators say there was some kind of altercation between a couple of 9th grade students when one pulled a knife and stabbed the other 3 times. Investigators say the victim was able to walk to the nurse's office before being taken to Brackenridge.
Saturday on Today.
An early morning stabbing at McNeil High School leaves one student in the hospital, another student in jail.
Got a traffic ticket? You better pay it or you can go to jail. I'm Sally Hernandez with that story.
A fire destroys everything a family owns. I'm Silvahara Petion will tell you how this tragedy has affected this neighborhood.
From KXAN NBC Austin, this is your news at 6.
An early morning stabbing at McNeil High School sends one student to the hospital, another to jail.
It all happened on campus just before 9 this morning. KXAN's Rich Parsons begins our live team coverage from McNeil High School with the very latest. Rich?
Michelle, just a short time ago, the suspect in this case was charged with attempted murder. Tonight, the victim sits in Brackenridge Hospital in stable condition, and another Central Texas high school narrowly skirts tragedy. Sirens, not school bells, began the day at McNeil High School when school officials say one student pulled a knife on another, stabbing him in the middle of a fight. Their identities, because both are minors. We're live at McNeil High School. Rich Parsons, KXAN, NBC Austin.
As you can imagine, news of the stabbing was a shock to many parents as they picked up their kids from school today. KXAN's Jenny Hoff continues our team coverage with that part of the story. Jenny?
Well, Michelle, it seems that more parents than students were scared about what happened here today, and maybe that's typical when these kinds of things happen. But that's why the school sent out this letter to those parents. They should be getting it in the mail soon. What it does is it just basically reassures them that their children are safe at McNeil High School. It says that this was an isolated incident between two students, and it doesn't really say much more because they were minors. Now, we did catch up with some parents and students as they were leaving the school today, and some parents wondered why there aren't metal detectors here and how
We're way short on the rainfall, and here is something we don't like to see. From Chopper 36 over in Williamson County, we saw a fellow burning some trash. He's got the hose there, but it could certainly go bad in a hurry. So don't do this. Don't give us any reason to come out to your house and, well, say unfriendly things to you. Well, look at that. It's right in the middle of a subdivision. Big dummy.
A plane crashes and kills two just yards away from a Georgetown airport. Exclusive pictures and the latest on the investigation coming up in a live report.
Reason I'm here, Jessica, is I have some warrants for you in the city of Austin.
Procrastinators find officers at the door with an early morning wake-up call. We're there during the rude awakening.
And parents of a Colorado student want to know why their teen was taped to a workout bench by his coach.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
Tonight, 2 people are dead and 2 others injured after a plane crash in Williamson County.
Take a look at these exclusive pictures from KXAN Chopper 36 flying over the crash site. Flames were still burning when KXAN crews got to the scene near the Georgetown airport. KXAN Silva Harapetian joining us live in Georgetown now with the latest on the investigation.
Hello, Jim. Let me set up the scene here for you. This right here is Lakeway, Georgetown.
In the last 7 months, there have been 2 plane crashes in Williamson County, the latest happening near Round Rock back in October. That's when the pilot of a FedEx cargo plane was trying to make an emergency landing, but ended up hitting a utility pole and cartwheeling into a house. The pilot suffered minor injuries, but Cynthia Vote's home suffered extensive damage. And just this past August, a crop duster crashed near the Taylor Airport. That plane slammed into a creek, but the pilot was able to walk away.
And residents who live near the airport admit that as Georgetown continues to grow, the recent crashes are a growing concern.
I must say that
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news first at 4.
A woman's body discovered in the middle of an Austin street. We're live with new developments in today's investigation.
A string of dog-on-dog attacks has sparked fear in this neighborhood. I'm Connie Swinney. I have details coming up on KXAN NBC Austin.
First at 4 on KXAN, a gruesome discovery in the streets of East Austin at 4 o'clock this morning.
That's when someone came across a woman's body at the intersection of East 14th and 14th and a half streets. KXAN's Chris Willis is following this developing story. He's live with those developments since this discovery in the last 12 hours. Chris?
Michelle, good afternoon to you. We are at the location. A shocking discovery, as you mentioned early this morning here in East Austin. A body was discovered right at this location. We're at the intersection of 14th and a half and 14th, just off Harvey in East Austin. All right, information is still coming in. Here's what we can confirm right now for you. That it was about 4 a.m. this morning when a driver was driving by this location and noticed a body lying in the roadway. That body was an African-American woman pronounced dead at the scene. That driver, of course, called 911. Police right now are not saying much. We're Austin.
The San Marcos man is in critical condition after stabbing early Sunday morning. 25-year-old Mark Tovar was found stabbed several times at his apartment in the 1700 block of River Road in San Marcos. He was airlifted to the Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio. Witnesses report seeing 3 Hispanic men fleeing the scene in a white Ford pickup truck. It's believed they may be friends of one of Tobar's neighbors. Anyone with information about this stabbing should call this number 512-753-2300.
It could be weeks before the exact cause of a plane crash in Georgetown is determined. Investigators with the National Transportation Safety Board and Federal Aviation Administration are still investigating. 2 people were killed when the Cessna plane went down after takeoff on Saturday morning. A preliminary investigation shows the plane lost power and caught fire on impact. 2 men who survived the crash are still in the hospital.
An Austin boy who suffered serious head injuries last week after falling off a boat dies from those injuries. 6-year-old George Libius fell off a pontoon boat on Lake Austin. That fall knocked him unconscious. He was then taken to the hospital where he died on Saturday. His funeral is set for Wednesday.
And today, family and friends say goodbye to a Leander volunteer firefighter. Stephen Edward Kincaid of Round Rock died early Friday morning in a traffic accident. He was a passenger in the pickup truck that crashed along I-183 in Leander. Today, Kincaid's family, parents, and members of the firefighting team gathered in Leander for his funeral. Another man who was driving the truck Kincaid was in survived that crash. DPS investigators today released the name of a victim who died in a crash along Highway 71 near Southwest Parkway. 30-year-old Joaquin Sanchez of Austin was killed Sunday morning. Sanchez was driving westbound on Highway 71 when the driver of a Ford pickup traveling in the opposite direction ran into Sanchez, killing him. Officials have not yet determined if charges will be filed against the driver of the truck.
A close call today for a Williamson County Sheriff's deputy and the drivers of 3 other vehicles. It's after this wreck on Ranch Road 620 between O'Connor and Great Oaks Drive. Witnesses say the deputy's vehicle was traveling eastbound on 620 when it crossed into oncoming traffic. That's when a truck braked to avoid the deputy's car, causing a chain reaction crash, and 2 other cars to rear end the truck. Everyone walked away from this with no injuries. Concerns over a pit bull have turned into a dogfight among residents in one community in Burnett County. KXAN's Connie Swinney joins us live from there with new details from the Hill Country. Connie.
Well, Robert, neighbors here are tracing a string of pet attacks involving a pit bull to this house here. But the owner says that this dog, the pit bull, is just protecting its territory, while others want authorities to do something about it. Now, Joe Johnson says his pit bull Plex is just doing what dogs do. He has attacked nearby pets, and on one occasion, Plex's owner paid nearly $500 towards a neighbor's veterinarian bill. Now, the pit bull manages to get out of an electric fence enclosure from time to time, which has led to attacks both on and off the owner's property. Now neighbors are going head-to-head.
NBC Nightly News at 5:30. Access Hollywood up next.
The Oscar.
A woman's lifeless body in the middle of an Austin street. Hear what investigators now believe killed her.
I'm Rich Parsons in north central Austin, where we have a warning for you. There are reports that someone may be impersonating a city worker, possibly to get access to your backyard or your home. Coming up, we'll have all the details you need to stay safe.
And how could hurricane damage turn into a hazard for your home? We'll investigate email warnings about mulch made from Louisiana debris.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
Good evening, everyone. Topping KXAN News at 6. Fallout for the Austin Independent School District after accusations that a teacher took child discipline too far.
Parents allege that back on February 23rd.
Welcome back, everyone. Someone may be impersonating a city worker to get into your home or your yard.
That's true. The city's water department got 2 reports of a fake employee going to people's houses over the weekend. Nobody was harmed, but one family was so scared they called KXAN News to warn others. Our Rich Parsons has the story.
I don't need to happen here now.
Willie Mae Fouché was happy to let an unidentified man into her backyard Saturday evening after he told her he was from the city checking for a water leak.
And then I got to thinking, why it's Saturday afternoon, late. Why would he do that? But I wasn't fazed by it at all.
Her family was so fazed, they immediately called the cops and the water department. But there were no crews working in the area.
I don't know what their real motive was.
Whatever it was, granddaughter Larissa Roberts doesn't believe it was good. The mystery man left after being told Fouché's son was nearby walking her dog.
If something were to happen to her, I don't know what I'd do, because she's not only my grandmother, she's my best friend. And not too many people can say they have that relationship with their grandmother.
Folks with the city water department say their crews rarely need access to your backyard, and they should never need access to the inside of your home. They say anybody who claims they do could be up to no good. Also, always ask for identification and look for a city uniform.
Unfortunately, this occasionally happens. It's not as rare as you would think.
Fouché promises next time she'll think before opening her home or yard to a stranger.
Just find out who they are for sure. Of course, I didn't. I just took him at his word.
Words of caution for everyone. Rich Parsons, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Now the only description.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news, first at 4.
Police dragging an Austin police officer battered and bruised after a car drags her through a parking lot overnight. We're live with the latest developments.
Another election day in Texas. How many of you are getting out to vote?
At first at 4, drunk driving, a deadly crash, and a local family devastated. Hi, everyone. One man is dead and another is charged with intoxication manslaughter.
Police say that early on Sunday morning, Bradley Blackmore crossed a median into oncoming traffic, killing Joaquin Sanchez. It all happened on State Highway 71, just west of the Southwest Parkway. Police say Blackmore fled the scene, but they caught up with him later. Now the victim's family is speaking out. KXAN Santa Henderson is live with today's top story and why this is a huge loss in more ways than one. Santa.
Well, Robert, the victim is Joaquin Sanchez. His family tells us that he was on his way home from work when the wreck took place. They also say that they are devastated, and as you can imagine, it's an emotional time because Joaquin's wife is pregnant with their first child. Now, they say that Joaquin was a very nice person who loved family and friends. They say that he loved to work. That's a picture of his wife right now. Right now, she is 2 months pregnant. Santiago Sanchez, the victim's brother, says he was a very careful driver and loved hanging out and having fun.
Él no tomaba.
He didn't drink.
Él no fumaba.
He didn't smoke.
Él siempre fue.
Simply put, he was very responsible.
Now, Santiago Sanchez tells us that a service will be held for Joaquin on Thursday. As for the suspect, Brady Blackmore, he's locked up. His bond is set at $150,000. Police also say that they talked with witnesses who say that Blackmore bought 2 kegs that night on a Saturday night to go to a party, and this wreck happened early Sunday morning. We'll have more on this developing story at 6. Live in the newsroom, Santa Henderson, KXAN, NBC Austin.
And Austin police are looking for a serial robber who's on the run. Police link the suspect to 3 robberies since January. First at a Shell station on I-35 at Old Torp. The second on February 21st at a Diamond Shamrock on Congress Avenue on the southbound lane there on the southbound side. And on the third robbery to report, February 25th at the Money Box store on East Ben White Boulevard. This surveillance video shows the suspect during one of the robberies. Police think he's a black man about 20 to 30 years old and has a possible mustache and a fake beard. If you know anything about any of these robberies, call the APD robbery tip line at 974-5092.
And listen to this, an Austin police officer is recovering after she's dragged and run over early this morning. It happened during a traffic stop on East Riverside Drive. That's where we find KXAN's Dan Robertson live on the scene with new developments. Dan, what can you tell us?
Well, the good news is that 5-year veteran officer Brenda Bermudez has been released from Brackenridge Hospital after treatment for serious injuries. Now, police say the incident began early this morning in this parking lot on East Riverside. You can still see some of the markings from the investigation there on the pavement. Officer Bermudez had stopped the Subaru station wagon with 2 men inside. Now, as soon as they stopped, the officer talked to the driver, 24-year-old Armando Andres Torres. He suddenly started driving away, dragging Officer Bermudez and running over her. Torres and passenger 55-year-old Raymond Book ditched the car nearby, but they were caught quickly about a block away from the scene. Now, it turns out the car
I'm Michelle Bias, live in the KXAN studio. Excuse me. Here's what we're working on for KXAN News at 6. An Austin police officer is dragged and run over by a driver she had just stopped. What happened next when the suspect tried to flee the scene? And then another man is dead and police...
Taking to NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
What started with a night of partying ended with one man dead.
Police have now charged Brady Blackmore of Lakeway with intoxication manslaughter after his truck crossed a median and hit another man, killing him. KXAN Santa Henderson joins us live from the scene of the wreck with details about the crash and how the victim's family is coping. Santa?
Yeah, Michelle, the crash happened here on Highway 71 near Southwest Parkway early Sunday morning. Now, police say on Saturday night, Blackmore bought 2 kegs of beer and then went to a party at this house on Spicewood. Now, witnesses there tell police they questioned whether or not he was fit to leave the party on his own, but Blackmore stated he was fine. Now, investigators believe he was drunk. Santiago Sanchez mourns the death of his brother Joaquin Sanchez. Joaquin died in a head-on collision on...
From KXAN NBC Austin. This is your news first at 4.
As drought continues to grip central Texas, the Highland Lakes are going down. Will there be enough water for your summer fun? I'm Dan Robertson. The story coming up.
Breaking news, Ann Richards has cancer. Next, the latest on the condition of the former Texas governor.
And new details on a gruesome discovery right here in Austin.
We begin first at 4 with an update on breaking news we first brought you here at our 3 o'clock report. Hayes County firefighters at the scene of a large brush fire just east of Buda.
Now that fire started just after 2 o'clock this afternoon. You're looking at KXAN exclusive live pictures from Chopper 36. The fire is contained at this hour, but not before burning several acres along Ginny Lane and Williamson Road in Niederwald. KXAN's Chris Willis was the first reporter on the scene. He joins us with an update from the ground. Chris, what do you see there?
Kind of good news, bad news, Michelle. I'll tell you what, this fire broke out around 2 o'clock, as you mentioned. We're just off of Williamson Road and Ginny Road, just on in Hayes County, right along the Travis County border. For one homeowner, this could not have come at a worse location. Take a look right behind me here. That's the home in question. You can see there are still emergency crews kind of surrounding that home. That is right in the middle of this big area, and a lot of brush fire going up and threatening that home. The quick work of those firefighters and those emergency crews were able to save that house. We can tell you Hayes County, Niederwald, Travis County, Buda, Texas Forest Service, all here able to save that house and any other homes and outbuildings. You know, that's always a big problem. Those outbuildings and homes just go up like a tinderbox in this location. All right, so video from earlier today, we can tell you again, wind is a huge factor, gusting up to 40 miles an hour in Hayes County. It's been consistent down here at about 20 to 25 miles an hour. Firefighters have had a lot of experience down in this area in the last few months fighting these fires, and that really came in handy today because they were able to act quickly. Brought out the bulldozer, dug the fire line around it. Again, no buildings or outbuildings were burned, and they were on this just in time. As we come back live, we're going to show you quickly, just give you an indication. You can see along the fence there, those little flags that are tied. That gives you an indication of just how heavily the winds are gusting out here. Again, consistently 20 to 25 miles an hour, but it's been gusting out here to 40 and 45 miles an hour. That's given firefighters a tough time. They're going to stay out here. Even though they're pretty much contained now, they're going to monitor the hot spots because these things can go right back up really quickly with these winds. We'll keep an eye on it for you and bring you the latest at 6 for now. We're in Hayes County, and I'm Chris Willis, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Chris, thanks. More breaking news. This time in southwest Austin, police have just reopened the north and southbound lanes of Mopac between Slaughter Lane and William Cannon. City crews tell us a contractor hit a 24-inch water main, forcing police to close the highway for 2 hours. These are pictures from Chopper 36, and crews remain at the scene trying to make the repairs, and we'll have more on this tonight on KXAN News at 6.
And there are new developments today involving a local pastor accused of sexual activity with a child. KXAN's Jenny Hoff is in South Austin tracking the very latest on this investigation. Jenny?
Michelle, just before noon today, for the 3rd time this year, police banged on the door of Rodolfo Sosa and arrested him for indecency with a child. Now, Sosa, as you said, is a local pastor of a small congregation who's been accused twice in the past month and a half of either fondling or molesting a child. First a 13-year-old, then a 12-year-old. Well, now we're hearing of another 12-year-old. Almost exactly 1 year ago today, a 12-year-old boy told his father that Rodolfo Sosa, who was a maintenance worker in the neighborhood, came over to repair something. The boy was home alone. Apparently,
Sosa tried to touch him inappropriately in the wrong places, and then he tried to get on top of him. Well, the boy told police that he ran to the bathroom and he shut the door until Sosa left. But afterwards, he would not talk to Child Protective Services, so police suspended that case. But in light of what has happened here in the last month and a half, they have reopened it. And as I said, he has been arrested, this time with indecency with a child by contact, a second-degree felony. He's being held in the Travis County Jail on a $100,000 bond. Now, we talked to a neighbor who saw police approach his house this morning, and he saw him arrest him. We'll have you hear from him tonight at 6. Reporting live from South Austin, Jenny Hoff, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Former Texas governor and Austin resident has a new fight on her hands. It is cancer of the esophagus. A spokesman for Governor Ann Richards announcing this afternoon that Richards has been diagnosed. It happened just yesterday, and she began telling her family and friends. KXAN's political reporter Rich Parsons is here live with the latest on Ann Richards' condition.
Yeah, I just got back from downtown where I had a chance to talk with some of Governor Richards' friends and co-workers at Public Strategies, Inc. That's in downtown Austin. They tell me the governor is in good spirits and ready for this fight. Spokesman for Governor Richards says the 72-year-old former governor went in for a checkup on Monday and was told of her cancer yesterday. Now, they could not tell me how far advanced her cancer is, and doctors are still evaluating what level of treatment she'll need. But Richards is making arrangements to begin treatment at MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston, likely later this week or sometime next.
She appreciates the prayers and the good wishes of people across Texas, and that she expects to beat this like she has everything else.
Of course, you'll recall Richards was governor of Texas from 1991 to 1995. She's been a senior advisor at Public Strategies since June of 2001. Get this, most recently, she was involved in working on Martha Stewart's release from prison and sort of rehabbing Stewart's public image. So she's been very busy as of late, and of course we all wish her well. We will have more reaction and more on her condition tonight on News 36 at 6.
We are all pulling for her to get through this.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Rich.
All right. Thank you very much, Rich. Well, a big upset at the Travis County Commissioner's Court. There will be a new Precinct 2 County Commissioner. Last night, Democrat Sarah Eckhart defeated County Commissioner Karen Sunliner.
Whip up another dangerous wildfire here in Central Texas. We'll show you exclusive pictures of what burned and how high the threat is now.
For the third time in a month and a half, a local pastor has been arrested at his home for allegedly molesting a child. I'm Jenny Hoff, and you'll hear from a neighbor who saw the arrest happen.
She beat political opponents for decades. Well, now Ann Richards must fight a very personal battle.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
Good evening, everyone. A wildfire fanned by high winds spread through eastern Hays County.
It sent firefighters and residents scrambling to save homes. KXAN's Chris Willis is live in Niederwald, just east of Buda, with their quick action. Chris.
And the wind is really kicking up here, Robert. Good evening to you. This story is really a testament to firefighters, their hard work, and their quick decision-making. Take a look at what they encountered when they first got on the scene. That is the home right smack in the middle of all this acreage. When firefighters got here, they had flames in every direction, every side of this home. The first group on the scene, we believe from Chisholm Trail, started driving around that house and dumping water, preventing the flames from getting to it. They saved that home. They have two goals on a fire like this: save lives and save property. We believe they saved both today. The fire broke out about 2:15. They had it contained in about an hour. Take a look. In all, 25 homes were threatened. One home was slightly damaged. They had to pull the electricity as a safety precaution there. The cause of this fire is still unknown, although it is not believed to be a burn ban violation. Firefighters did trace the point of origin and found electrical lines and cigarette butts, although they say an official cause is still undetermined. Homeowner David Alston was at work in downtown Austin when he got word of this fire spreading directly toward his home. He had taken the van pool today, so he had to get a ride back home. And when he got there, he quickly grabbed a hose.
And it stopped pretty close to the house, so they got it in time. My son was working on what was up close to the house before the fire truck got in here.
Well, you know, a fire like this and no homes, just one home minorly damaged, but firefighters saved lives and homes today. In all, about 16 agencies worked this fire, and Starflight was also here doing bucket drops of that water. You know, officials have just told us the next couple of days are very touch and go. They're expecting them to be high fire days. Today there was a fire watch in this area, but because of the low humidity and the high winds, tomorrow and the next day could be a fire warning. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. We're in Hays County tonight, and we're live. I'm Chris Willis, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Chris.
NBC Austin. This is your news, first at 4.
First at 4 on KXAN, breaking news in northern part of Lockhart in Caldwell County. Good afternoon, I'm Robert Hadlock.
And I'm Sally Hernandez in for Michelle Vias. A church and daycare have been evacuated after a truck loaded with explosive propane crashes. Let's get right to it and go to KXAN's Jenny Hoff. She's live at the scene with the very latest. Jenny?
Well, Sally, I'm here at 183 and FM 2001 in Lockhart. As you can see behind me, the road is already blocked off. 183 is blocked off for about 3 miles, both north and southbound. And we can't get any closer to the accident this time because it's too dangerous. But if you take a look, there are some blinking lights. That is where the propane truck tipped over. Now, at this time, there's no obvious leakage. They've got meters out there to see if any gas did leak out, but they're not taking any dangers. They wanted to make sure to evacuate a daycare center, which was nearby. There were about 20 children inside, and a church. They just think there were some office people inside there. They don't know if there are any injuries. They do believe this was a one-vehicle accident, which means the propane tank just tipped over. It didn't hit any other cars. But if you are going to be heading back during rush hour, they said 183 is going to be closed off for at least a couple of hours. So if you're going to be heading, especially from the Austin area, back this way, you're going to want to find some alternate routes. Now, as soon as we get the go-ahead, we're going to get closer to the scene to get you some pictures and to get some sound from the fire chief to find out exactly what is going on and what dangers there are for you. Reporting live from Lockhart, Jenny Hoff, KXAN, NBC Austin.
All right, so just a reminder, if you're heading out there, if you're heading in that direction, 183 will be closed off for a few hours, so you need to make other arrangements so you don't get caught up in that traffic mess that's out there. Once again, a church and a daycare have been evacuated after a truck loaded with explosive propane crashes. And right now, firefighters have their hands full in northeast Travis County, where a huge brush fire has torched parts of a popular shooting range. Yeah, KXAN's Rich Parsons joins us live from that scene with more.
Sally, this fire took dead aim at the Austin Skeet and Rifle Range. I'm standing in the pistol range. This is the area that got the worst of it at this firing range. Took out the target area here where folks come to practice. The good news, it didn't hit any of the sheds where there is some live ammo stored, so that was good news for firefighters. Manager out here tells me he can repair all this. The firefighters had to put this fire out twice today. It began about noon on the other side of Old Kimbrough Road out here in Travis County. Fire officials say it burned about 15 to 20 acres. Crews thought they had it knocked down and were just mopping up about 1:30 this afternoon when they say the wind shifted on them, picked up some of these hot spots and spread the fire again. This time, though, it jumped the road. That's when it got into the firing range out here. And fire officials say it claimed another 10 acres at that point. Fire crews do believe that they have it mopped up, and they're still out here in parts of the woods and everything, but you can see some of the small hot spots like this right here. Now, that doesn't seem like a whole lot, but the wind is blowing very, very strong out here, and it's hot and dry. So anything just like that little spot right there could reignite this thing, so they're pretty worried. They're asking us to remind everybody the fire danger is still extremely high, so use a lot of caution out here. We'll be back at 6 with more details on this fire. Back to you.
Rich, thanks. In Williamson County, firefighters worked several grass fires today, including this 50-acre controlled burn that got out of control near the Georgetown and Liberty Hill city limits.
I came driving through this late last night, and it was at least a quarter of an inch and maybe over half inch of water that came down here very hard. And yet this morning, this fire took off, and it was difficult to control.
Coming up on KXAN News at 6, you'll see how the Texas Forest Service has broken down the various types of grass, brush, and other vegetation into timelines. We'll show you how even after a heavy rain, it may take as little as an hour for things to literally go up in smoke.
Let's go over to Pflugerville because that's where police made a scary discovery at Parkcrest Middle School, and now 2 teenage boys are being detained. KXAN's Santa Henderson is live at Pflugerville with the very latest on that.
Hey, Sally, I'm at Parkcrest Middle School. Things look normal right now. As you can see, children are getting out of school. Their parents are picking them up. School buses are going back and forth. But it's a far cry than what happened before lunch today. After a box filled with gunpowder was found inside the school, the students here were then taken out of the building and into a nearby football field. Hazmat crews responded to make sure the device was handled properly. 2 teenage boys who are being detained. They're 13 and 14 years old. And as you can imagine, this whole ordeal has parents shaken up. Several showed up at the school to take their children home.
It's scary. I mean, and I have 4 kids. I'm a single mom, and something like this just, you know, it blows your mind. You don't think it could happen, really, you know. And I'm just glad everything's okay and hopefully nobody gets hurt from it.
Now, once again, 2 teenage boys are accused of bringing gunpowder to school in a box. They are charged with having a prohibited weapon on a school ground. Parents here say they're very upset about this. We'll have more on this story at 6. Reporting live in Pflugerville, I'm Santa Henderson, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Military veterans turned out in Smithville today to pay honor and say goodbye to one of their own. Family and friends gathered for funeral services for Private First Class Tina Marie Priest. Priest died from a gunshot wound while serving in Iraq, but military officials say it was not a combat injury that took the 20-year-old's life. An honor guard of veterans was on hand to carry flags and escort her coffin.
Central Texas was treated to a bit of a light show last night by some heavy thunderstorms that raced through our area. While it didn't last very long, it packed quite a punch. In Williamson County, the downpour led to pea-sized hail in some places. A storm spotter reported 3/4-inch hail near Bee Cave in western Travis County. The storm brought 1 to 2 inches of rain, and that same storm system moved through.
From KXAN, NBC Austin, this is your news first at 4.
Wildfires are once again taking over Texas. We have live team coverage coming up.
A killer is on the loose in Hays County. It turns out the victim is a registered sex offender shot to death in that house.
And blogging. It is all the rage as the interactive portion of South by Southwest gets into day 4. We're live at the convention center with today's action.
Good afternoon. First at 4, breaking news. A woman hit and killed by a train in South Austin.
KXAN Santa Henderson is live this afternoon with the very latest from the scene. Santa?
Chris, Michelle, that woman was walking alongside of the track. She was not on the track. It's about 150 yards this way at Old Torf and Thornton. Now, she was walking down alongside of the track when the train came and she was struck and hit. Police tell us that right now they have not identified that woman. They don't know exactly what was going on, why she was there, but she was struck while walking alongside the track. Right now, they've shut down the railroad crossings at Old Torf and Thornton, as well as Old Torf and Mary. And if you can see behind me here now, there's a yellow rope here that's stopping people from going that way. There's also a woman talking to police. Even though the victim has not been identified, I've seen several people out here doing sign language and talking with police officers. So we don't know who the victim is or why she was there, but that may be a sign as to some of the people who might have known her. We'll have more details on this as they become available. Reporting live in South Austin, I'm Santa Henderson, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Santa, thank you. The other big story today, another day without rain sparks another day of wildfires across the state and right here in our Central Texas backyard.
Caldwell County gets hit hard again. This time it's an area near Niederwald that's left in ashes. We have team coverage this afternoon. We begin with KXAN's Rich Parsons, who's been on the fire line all day and joins us live with an update. What can you tell us, Rich?
Well, Michelle, this is just a sliver of about 100 acres that burned all up and down FM 2001 this morning. But it wasn't the size of the fire that was a problem for firefighters. It was how many fires they had to put out. Fire crews from about 20 state and local agencies spent the morning racing up and down FM 2001, fighting more than a half dozen grass fires. Fire officials believe sparks from a passing vehicle, possibly a travel trailer with a flat tire spotted in the area, got all this grass burning. Fire officials were never able to locate that trailer, though, so they are not sure if that's what sparked the blazes. High winds and low humidity out here pushed the flames to within about 50 feet of a couple of homes off FM 2001, but quick action by firefighters and by residents to wet down the house and grass kept the fire back.
I told my daughter.
Rich, thank you for that. And those fires in Caldwell County are just some of the dozens burning today across the state. Take a look. At least 7 people have been killed. Now the weather segment.
Okay, Jim, thank you very much. The search is on for a suspect who killed a registered sex offender out in Hays County. KXAN Silva Harpetian is live at the scene of the crime with new information. Silva?
Hi, Michelle. Jack Hood lived in that house right there, 4800 block of Trail End. Sheriff's deputies found him shot to death yesterday. Today we went to the golf at the country club where he played golf every week. Folks out there were very surprised to hear about the news. We also tracked down one of his friends at his automotive shop, and the news was on NBC Austin.
Silva, thank you. The woman who police say helped a killer escape from Austin to Mexico appeared in court today. Laura Hall made an appearance in Judge Flowers' courtroom this morning. The judge reset a hearing that was originally scheduled today. She's charged with hindering the apprehension of murder suspect Colton Petoniak. The two were caught in Mexico after police discovered the dismembered body.
Southwest gets interactive today. It's day 4 of the internationally known event, and blogging is a huge part of this year's conference. KXAN's Jenny Hoff joins us live from the Austin Convention Center. Tell us more about that, Jenny.
Well, right now we are here at the Convention Center where the film and interactive portions of South by Southwest are going on. And first we want to show you a little bit of the schedule of events going on for today. We've got the IF exhibition, which is really a trade show. It shows different consumer products, different interactive products, also film panels and festival and interactive panels. You can, of course, find more information on all of those events on our website at KXAN.com. Now, getting to the interactive portion of South by Southwest, there are some new elements this year. As you mentioned, blogging. There's a blogging room where people can go inside and people attending the event can go talk to each other. They can meet new people. They can talk about what they've seen here at South by Southwest. They can send messages back and forth. Also podcasting. People are walking around with recorders, recording the different keynote speakers, getting interviews with people here at the festival, and you can log on.
Welcome back. An update on that breaking news we brought you at the top of the hour. A woman is dead after she's hit by a train in South Austin. It happened just after 2 o'clock along a stretch of tracks between West Mary and Old Torf. The first arriving ambulance found the woman in her mid-20s to early 30s dead on the scene. Austin police are asking drivers to avoid West Mary and Old Torf while they continue their investigation. They expect to have the roadway closed for several hours, and we'll have an update on this developing story for you tonight on KXAN News at 6.
Looks like we're going back to normal temperatures this week. Let's check in with Jim.
Yeah, after some record-breaking.
All right.
That's creepy. We'll see you again at 6 for more of today's local news and weather.
Keep it right here on KXAN for NBC Nightly News at 5:30. Access Hollywood is next. A nice green jacket there.
The news doesn't stop, and neither do we. For the latest news, weather, and more, log on to KXAN.com. It's all you need in a click.
Is struck and killed by a train in South Austin. Now police are trying to figure out what she was doing there in the first place. I'm Santa Henderson.
More of Central Texas goes up in flames, but the folks who work this land say this fire may have a silver lining. I'm Rich Parsons in Caldwell County. I'll explain.
And other parts of Texas still on fire as gusty north winds blow behind this morning's cold front. I'll have the forecast.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
Good evening, everyone. Tinderbox conditions in Central Texas spark more wildfires today. This time, fire crews and residents stopped the flames within a few dozen feet of homes in Caldwell County. KXAN's Rich Parsons has been on the fire line all day. He's live near Niederwald along FM 2001. Hi, Rich.
Hi, Michelle. Yeah, fire crews couldn't stop the flames from spreading beyond the shoulder of FM 2001 into the heavy brush and dry grass back here. Folks who live in this area aren't necessarily out of the woods just yet either. This fire's been out about 2 to 3 hours. But as you can see, there are still some hot spots and a lot of smoldering ash. And
Texas fire scorched around 100 acres in Lexington. It started out as a debris fire, but the winds blew it out of control. Lee County lifted its burn ban 2 weeks ago, but reissued it again after this fire. One rancher lost most of his hay, but no structures were burned. Deadly wildfires in the Panhandle have burned through 530 acres in the Texas Panhandle and South Plains. 11 major fires are still burning. The fires are blamed for 7 deaths, including 4 people who died in a chain reaction crash on a highway shrouded in smoke.
That's coming up.
Now to a devastating story. We just learned a train hit and killed a deaf teenager in South Austin this afternoon. It happened just before 2 on the tracks between West Mary and Old Torf. KXAN Santa Henderson joins us live from the scene with the latest on this information. Santa?
Yeah, Michelle, the victim we're told is Tara McAvoy. We're also told that she attended the Texas School for the Deaf, so she must have been hearing impaired. As you can see behind me right now, this area is reopened. It reopened about 5:30, but it was shut down just after 2 o'clock after that train accident. What happened was the victim was walking alongside the track. She was not on the track, but she was close enough, APD says, close enough to be struck by that train. She was struck and was found dead there. Now, several people were coming back and forth talking with the police about this. Several people who appeared to be hearing impaired. They were signing. They were very emotional and concerned about what was going on here. APD says that it was a Union Pacific train.
Union Pacific train was traveling northbound. We believe at this time that the female was on the west side of the tracks, just off the tracks, and was then struck by the train. And she was pronounced dead at the scene.
They also tell us that there was no crossing area in the area where the body was found. For example, she wasn't trying to cross over the train, or there wasn't anything that would allow her to do that, but she was simply walking alongside. Don't know exactly what happened. Maybe she didn't hear it, or if the horn was blowing at the time, but APD is still looking into all of that. As you can see behind me, there are still some people right down alongside the opposite side of the track. Investigators are going up and down. They do tell us that people tend to hang out in this area for whatever reason, and we're also told that it's very hard for trains to stop. For example, if someone on the train sees someone on the track or near the track, it could take a mile, even more than that, just to try to slow down to make sure everybody is safe. So we'll have more information as it becomes available. Live in South Austin, I'm Santa Henderson, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Thank you, Santo. Well, a Union Pacific spokesperson says the train's conductor did blow the horn, but obviously we just reported to you the girl is a deaf student. And they did go on to say that our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of this woman at this time. We would like for people to realize that walking on railroad tracks is very dangerous. It is believed, though, the girl was walking alongside those tracks. Hayes County deputies are on the hunt for a killer. Today, we learned more about a man shot to death outside San Marcos. KXAN's Silva Harpetian has been digging for information and joins us live outside the scene of that crime. Hi, Silva.
Hello, Michelle. Jack Hood was killed inside that house. Someone shot.
Tragedy on the tracks. We're live with new information today about the death of Miss Deaf Texas, who was hit by a train.
Wildfire worries. The flames temporarily subside, but the threat remains in the Texas Panhandle after days of destruction by wind-whipped fires.
And stargazing. You don't need a telescope this week in Austin to see some of Hollywood's biggest names. We'll show you the hot spots for some celebrity sightings around town. Good afternoon, everyone. First for today, new information about the teenager who was hit and killed by a train in South Austin.
Tara McAvoy, the reigning Miss Deaf Texas, was heading to see her mother when she was killed. It happened yesterday afternoon on the tracks near Old Torf and Mary Streets. KXAN's Jenny Hoff is live now at the scene with the latest developments. Jenny?
Well, Chris, we're here at the tracks where Tara McAvoy was hit and killed yesterday. We just saw some friends of hers come by and put up flowers in memory of her at the crosswalk right nearby where she was killed. Now, we're getting some additional details into what happened yesterday. Police tell us the Union Pacific train that hit Tara McAvoy was carrying automobiles from Mexico to St. Louis. But at this time, they don't believe the accident was the conductor's fault. According to the company, the conductor sounded his horn several times when he saw McAvoy walking near the track. He then hit the emergency brakes, but it was too late. The front end of the train hit her as she was walking from her home to her mom's work. Now, because she was deaf, she could not hear the horn, but police believe she may not have felt the vibration of the oncoming train because of a distraction.
She had a mobile texting device, and it sent a message to her mother letting her know that she was en route to her place of employment via the tracks. And we're still looking into that text device, but we believe that she may have been sending text messages to friends and family as well during that time.
Now, we're told McAvoy was taking a new route yesterday. Usually she walked down South Lamar to her family's work, but this time she was walking along the train tracks. Police are asking for any witnesses with any information to come forward just so they can get a clear picture of exactly how this happened. Reporting live from South Austin, Jenny Hoff, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Thanks, Jenny. Well, more information is emerging today about the 11 people who have died because of fires in the Texas Panhandle. A trooper with the Texas Department of Safety now says that 4 oil field workers died as they were driving down a rural road to a work site. Their vehicle was overcome by smoke, and when they abandoned it ran on foot, the flames overtook them. 4 other victims died in a car crash Sunday on Interstate 40. They're all residents of Oklahoma, and 3 people died inside homes consumed by flames in the Borger area. NBC's Janet Shamlian continues our coverage from Wheeler, Texas.
The fires are now mostly under control, but the death toll from these wildfires the past few days has risen to 11. And take a look at the physical toll. This is a house that went up in flames in an instant. You can see the car in the garage.
Coming up. All right, Jim, thank you. A 2.5-year-old girl is dead, and now the Travis County Sheriff's Department and Child Protective Services are looking to see if her death was the result of child abuse. Our Silva Harapetian is following this developing story live in the newsroom. Silva,
Chris, as we speak, the Sheriff's Department is reviewing the details of that, the evidence they've collected in this case, and we do expect to learn more coming up in a few hours. Meanwhile, this is what we've dug up so far.
We have new information from the 18-year-old deaf girl who was hit and killed by a train on these tracks yesterday. I'm Jenny Hoff. In a live report, I'll tell you just how often these incidents happen.
Dozens of teens spend their spring break day cleaning up Austin streets. We'll show you how a friend's deadly shooting is now motivating their moves.
South by Southwest hits Austin. That means world-class stargazing all week. I'm Rich Parsons. Coming up, I'll tell you where you can find some of the biggest names in movies and music.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
A deadly shooting changed their lives forever. Good evening, I'm Michelle Vyas.
And I'm Chris Willis in for Robert. Today, some East Austin residents are fighting back to reclaim their streets. It's a story you'll only see on KXAN. Our Santa Henderson is live with how they're trying to turn tragedy into triumph. Santa?
Hey, Chris, now check this out. This alley is clean right now, but earlier it was a mess. People came out to pick up the trash, and check this out. You see the white paint? They painted over all the graffiti down here and the graffiti on the walls. All of this is done in memory of Christopher Woody Briseño. You may recall the Austin High School teenager was gunned down.
Being held in connection with his murder.
Austin police are starting to get a clearer picture of how a deaf teen was killed by a train.
We just believe that she may have had her attention and her focus on the text messaging device, and being that she is hearing impaired, may not have heard the horn sounding as the train approached.
Investigators say 18-year-old Tara McAvoy was walking alongside the tracks in South Austin toward her mother's workplace yesterday when a snowplow jutting about a foot off the Union Pacific train struck and killed her. Friends say Tara had everything going for her. She was the reigning Miss Deaf Texas, a graduate from the Texas School for the Deaf, and an active participant in many clubs. Police are still investigating her death. KXAN's Jenny Hoff is live at the scene. Jenny, I understand neighbors in that area gave you an earful today about the dangers of those tracks.
That's right, Michelle. Now, first off, you mentioned the plow that hit Tara McAvoy. Now, police say it stuck out about 16 inches from each side of the train, which means McAvoy would have had to have been walking at least this close to the tracks when she was hit yesterday afternoon. Now, people around here say they're obviously shocked at what happened, but they're not entirely surprised. They say they've seen it all, from cars being dragged down the tracks to photographers clipped by boxcars to homeless people hit right here on these rails.
It's a tragedy, especially, for a young person like that, but it's heartbreaking.
Hours after the deadly accident, mourners make memorials and witnesses remember moments they'll not soon forget.
I was actually inside the house, and I heard, the train brakes. You just get a knot in your throat, knowing that, something is about to happen, and the outcome could be, very bad. I knew that there was probably, a possibility of a fatality, so my heart goes out to the family of this young lady.
Sad.
But it's also not keeping these Austinites from turning these tracks into their trail hours after the fatality.
I mean, these tracks have been down them 1,000 times. It's safe. You could see and hear when a train's coming if you're paying attention. It's just anything's a danger. There's probably more car accidents in Austin than train accidents.
They just don't realize, that it's a very dangerous situation that they're putting themselves in.
The danger he's heard and seen for himself, many more times than he'd like to remember.
Railroad tracks are not anything, to be playing with.
Now, police say McAvoy usually walked South Lamar to get to her mom's work where she was headed, but took a different route yesterday. Now, they're very much still investigating this case. Family, friends, Union Pacific, they all want answers, and they're asking anybody who witnessed the accident to call the Austin Police Department. Reporting live from South Austin, Jenny Hoff, KXAN, NBC Austin.
A 2-year-old girl is dead, and now Child Protective Services agents are scrutinizing the case. Our Silva Harapetian has also been looking for information today. Silva, good afternoon. What's the latest?
Hi, Chris. We're waiting for the medical examiner's office to determine how the 2-year-old died. Depending on what the result is, that will determine what will happen next. Meanwhile, the Sheriff's Department is releasing very little.
Alrighty.
We thank you for watching us tonight.
And we'll see you at 10. Wheel of Fortune is coming up next.
That is my favorite story.
Isn't that great?
Or none.
The news doesn't stop, and neither do we. For the latest news, weather, and more, log on to KXAN.com. It's all you need in a click. From KXAN, NBC Austin, this is your news, first at 4.
The husband of a Round Rock daycare owner accused of indecency with children. A can't-miss story for parents this afternoon.
I'm Jim Bergamo in Georgetown, where you may be surprised to learn just how hard Williamson County prosecutors plan to come down on those responsible for this graffiti.
And let the music begin. The South by Southwest Music Festival officially starts tonight. From 6th Street to the Austin Music Hall, we have live coverage of all the action happening around town.
Good afternoon, everyone. First at 4, an alarm for parents after a Round Rock man is arrested and accused of sexually abusing young children.
That man, the husband of a Round Rock daycare owner. KXAN Santa Henderson is live in Round Rock with today's top story. Santa?
Hey, Chris, now Round Rock police are investigating right now. This is the suspect. His name is Reuben Alarcon. The 33-year-old is accused of indecency with a child. Police say the incident took place at Alarcon's home on Bullhorn Loop back in January.
He is live at the Austin Music Hall where all the action gets underway tonight. Laura, who else is on that ticket?
Just lost my audio there, Michelle, so I'm not sure what you said. But Chris Christopherson is going to be the big performer tonight, along with country artist Jesse Coulter. But that's just a sampling of some of the music you can enjoy out here at the Austin Music Hall tonight. Take a look. Here's some names you might recognize: Rocky Erickson and the Explosives, John D. Graham and Eliza Gilkison, and that's just to name a few.
We have some breaking news coming into the newsroom from Georgetown right now. We're going to go to Jim Bergamo live for an update coming next.
Stay with us. An update for you from Georgetown, where authorities have just arrested some people in connection with an overnight string of graffiti vandalism. KXAN's Jim Bergamo is following the story. What's the update there, Jim?
Well, the update, Michelle, is 4 people now in custody. Of course, you see some of the graffiti, Crips for Life. Well, as kind of anticipated, this has nothing to do with gang activity, simply kids who are bored on spring break. This is what police are telling us. They have in custody 4 juveniles, 2 15-year-olds, 2 14-year-olds, all who attend Forbes Middle School. They've confessed to doing all the graffiti on the south side of town. Now, that's where we're at here at the community center, as well as what you saw earlier at Annie Pearl Elementary School, even some cars. Now, again, we're told that these kids did not, though, associate themselves with the graffiti that took place at the Berry Creek subdivision. So investigators are still searching for the people responsible. But again, 4 people in custody. All 4 have confessed to committing the graffiti here in Georgetown on the south side of town. Reporting live in Georgetown, Jim Bergamo, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Jim, thank you for that update. Other news now, at least 7 people are still missing and 1 dead after a rain-weakened dam burst on the Hawaii island of Kauai.
Just got out of control.
More breaking news now. We're going to take you live to Idaho. A construction worker dangling 60 feet in the air. The worker became stuck just a short time ago. You can see emergency crews are using a fire ladder truck to rescue that man. He's holding on to several wires. Crews going to continue to work on bringing that man safely down. No one has been injured. That's the good news. First at 4, back after this. Stay with us.
The news doesn't stop, and neither do we. For the latest news, weather, and more, log on to KXAN.com. It's all you need in a click. More.
Tonight's Austin Music Awards, always the official kickoff to the music portion of South by Southwest. Who's the band of the year and who are the big performers tonight? I'll have it all.
All new at 6, we're showing you new technology that tracks paroled sex offenders if they get way too close to your child.
Round Rock police are investigating a man for indecency with a child, and his wife operates a daycare. I'm Santa Henderson. We'll have details coming up.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
But first tonight, closing some disturbing loopholes in tracking high-risk sex offenders on parole.
There are close to 100 right here in Austin. In a story you'll only see on KXAN, our police reporter Sally Hernandez explains the new high-tech changes to the system. Hi, Sally.
Hey, Michelle, you know, up until just a few months ago, parole...
Bard's Frontage Road.
This is your news, first at 4.
Operation Swarmer. For the first time in 3 years, U.S. forces launch a major offensive in Iraq. We're live with the latest on this developing story.
Baby food recall. Texas' biggest grocery food chain yanks jars off the shelves, and we find out everything that parents should know about this story for your safety.
And the free concerts, a live look at Auditorium Shores where the music gets underway in just a couple of hours. We'll continue our South by Southwest coverage in minutes. Good afternoon. First at 4, rain-slicked roads turned deadly in Central Texas.
3 people are dead after 2 different accidents today. This Hays County emergency worker was one of the victims. Jake Davis of San Marcos was killed in southern Travis County. His truck crossed the median, hitting another truck. That driver was also killed. A third driver who did not see the crash because of the morning fog also hit both vehicles and was taken to Brackenridge Hospital.
The other deadly accident happened around 3 this morning on East Palmer Lane and Dessau Road. Officials say a man was speeding around a corner when he left the road and hit a utility pole on the driver's side, killing him instantly.
Meanwhile, the combination of misty rain and a buildup of dust sparked a fire in North Austin this morning, leaving about 300 people in the dark. Officials with Austin Energy restored the power, but police had to close down part of I-35 to make those repairs. Laura Skirty has the latest on the potential for severe weather from the First Warning Weather Center. Good afternoon, Laura.
Good afternoon to you, Michelle. It did not take much rain to cause those problems this morning. Take a look at some rainfall totals on our KXAN live weather net. Nothing more than 0.02 of an inch at Redeemer Lutheran School. Just trace amounts at Eanes Elementary, Austin Fire Dispatch, and Dripping Springs.
Listen to this. Police made only a handful of arrests last night in downtown Austin. They say the crowds for South by Southwest are pretty tame. But KXAN has learned officers are fighting an urgent problem on 6th Street. With more on that, here's KXAN Sally Hernandez to explain. Hi, Sally.
Hey, Michelle. Urgent. That's a pretty good word for the story because last year at South by Southwest, Austin police arrested 14 people for urinating in public. More than half were out-of-towners. Austin police say, look, it's a big problem, especially when you have big crowds and few restrooms. So they put up portable restrooms along 6th Street during Mardi Gras.
From KXAN NBC Austin, this is your news first at 4.
Hey everyone, let's give you a live look at Auditorium Shores at 3:58. The big question on everybody's mind for the weekend, is it going to rain? We'll keep it right here because we have the answer.
A tax scam targeting your money. The IRS has a warning about an email that's too good to be true. What you need to know coming up.
First at 4, news from under the dome and the announcement of another special session for lawmakers right here in Austin. Hi everyone, Governor Rick Perry today called a 30-day special session to deal with taxes and school finance.
That's right, lawmakers will have to return to the state capitol in exactly 1 month. KXAN's Chris Willis is there now and joins us live with today's top story.
Jim, good afternoon.
All right, Chris, we have some breaking news happening right now coming out of Bastrop County.
That's right, firefighters are on the scene of a house fire on West McDonald Lane near Highway 21. Now that fire, we're told, started just after 2 o'clock and spread throughout the home. We do have a crew en route, and we will certainly update this story when more information becomes available.
All right, Jim, the luck of the Irish may not be on your side if you get behind the wheel after your St. Patrick's Day celebrations.
That's right. Right here, St. Patrick's.
Yeah, at Fadeau's Irish Pub, the celebration started at 6.
Trying to steal your money. KXAN's Santa Henderson joining us live in the KXAN newsroom with information about the scam that could leave you high and dry. Santa?
Jim, the IRS is warning about an email scam that promises cash from the IRS but delivers nothing. This is what it is. The scam is happening throughout Austin and the country. Someone is sending a bogus letter that looks official. They're requesting your personal information, like your ATM card and identification number. Then they imply that you're going to receive a refund from the IRS. As if you have any questions about a letter or an email that you get, don't hesitate to go to irs.gov. Live in the newsroom, Santa Henderson, KXAN, NBC Austin.
And check this out. A man falls off of a 50-foot cliff in Georgetown and survives. 39-year-old Jason Stanford is now recovering from a broken leg. He is from North Carolina, and fire officials say Stanford was staying at a hotel near Blue Hole Park. Sometime around 1 o'clock this morning, he was talking on his cell phone, walked out of his hotel, crossed the street, climbed over the railing, and took just one too many steps toward the cliff.
He held on to the phone the entire time all the way to the bottom. When he came to rest at the bottom, he told the person he was talking to he had to hang up and call 911 because he just fell off a cliff.
When fire rescuers found Stanford, he was conscious. He was lifted to Brackenridge Hospital by Starflight, and fire officials say the trees at the bottom of the cliff broke his fall and probably saved his life. Now, we just found out that the rescue effort was captured on police camera, and we're going to have that for you tonight at 6. and talk about a wild night near Sudan. Keep it right here.
And breaking news update, this is regarding the fire that we talked about in Bastrop County.